All right, folks, Yishai Fleischer going live, broadcasting from the land of Israel, from the heartland, from Judea. It's just south of Jerusalem, the Holy Land, lighting up the world, even though there's so many elements, so many folks out there that want to put darkness. We got a light going on from the land of Israel, and you're a part of it wherever you are. So shalom and welcome as we start our live show Sunday night here in the land of Israel. And before we go any further, I ask you to join me in the comments section, moderated by the one and only Yo, our producer. Please let us know where you're from. Send your blessings to the land of Israel. I'm going to turn on the Instagram feed as well right now. There she goes. All right.
Please
and
put
we
your
begin.
sound into the mic, not into the room. Sorry.
Not sure what you're talking about. I think that was about the Instagram. That was for 1 second. I turned it off. No problemo. And we are live. So let's hear from you, good people. Let's hear from you from around the world. Let's hear what you got to say. Where are you from? Here we got folks from Montana. Shalom from Montana. Okay. And God bless from Scotland. Thank you very much. Shalom from Germany. Next Sunday, I'll travel to Israel, assuming airspace will not be closed. Well, that's an assumption you're making, and we shall see if indeed you're going to be flying to Israel or not. Shalom to Chicago. Shalom from Colorado, and blessings. Okay, let's keep going. I want to hear where you guys are from, and send me your blessings and your good thoughts and your energies. Bezrat Hashem. We're going to have a great show today. We got a lot to talk about. We have another person from Glasgow. Do you guys know each other, pro-Israel folks from Scotland? We got ALLYG167 from Glasgow, and we got Aberdeen, Scotland, and then I think we got somebody else from Scotland. What's going on here? Oh, and look, and we got Alex Triumph from Scotland as well. You guys should get together. I don't know. You should connect here. I don't know if you know one another, because if you don't know one another, you should. Okay, and I've had many stories where we've connected. Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry.
Are we having a sound problem? Hold on, I know what it is. What it is.
Your sound is not going through the system. I'm so sorry to bother you.
Does this sound better?
Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Toda rabah. That's why you need a producer. All right, so we got to connect these Scotland people together. We got to bring them together, all these Scot folks. These Scotlanders. There's Highlanders. The Highlanders who love the other Highlanders. Okay, I want to connect them. Yo, try to figure out a way to connect between these folks. Make sure they know one another. Unless they're all sitting in one house or something like that. But if they're not, I want them to know one another. Yeah. See, they love us here in Scotland. We love you back. I got to go see Scotland sometime. Gosh, play a round of golf, drink some liquor, you know what I mean? What's that scotch that I like? The one that tastes like honey. I forgot the name of it. What's that one? It tastes like honey. It's good. We have Australians where I've been twice already. I've been to Australia. We got Wisconsin where I've never been. We've got the Permian Basin. I don't even know where that is. We got folks from Montreal. Shalom Aleichem. We got people from Florida. We got not Guinness, not mead. People are writing there's a whiskey. No, there's a kind of whiskey that I like from Scotland, which is really sweet. What's the
Drambuie?
Oh, Drambuie. That's right. And you heard the rancor in Yo's voice because she thinks it's a very low type of liquor, and she's right. But it's a liquor that everybody likes, and so that's fine. We got Dallas, Texas. We got Alabama. We got Jack Daniels, actually from Tennessee. There you go. So we got a lot of good people here, and thank you very much for sending your blessings. Blessings to the land of Israel from Texas, the other Lone Star State. Certainly the other Lone Star State. Yefé meod. We got folks from Wales, South Africans in Wales. We got Ciao dell'Italia. Bobani. Okay, we love you. All right, we're sending you back blessings to all over the world, and thank you very much for joining us live here in the land of Israel. We are indeed live. We have a lot to talk about, including two different things. One is preparation for a giant war, and it's happening. And everybody in Israel is like, is it happening yet? And then people like myself who are a little bit more in the know,
Believe me, I'm not even. You see, I got a haircut. My barber was more in the know than I am. He was like, it's all about China. It's all about China and the price of oil. And he was giving me all these explanations. I'm like, So it was good to. I'm just telling you, people here around here are in the know, and everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of intensity out there. Okay, so Shavua Tov, and God bless you guys all over the world. And I'm excited to be with you on the live stream for sure. All right, let's find out what's going on. Let's review some of the news, and then later we're gonna talk about Tucker and that whole thing. Actually, we might even talk about it now with one of our favorite guests, who is none other than Mansour Ashkar, Druze influencer, Israeli Druze, father, former IDF Special Forces officer, living in Germany, on the road right now, and an excellent YouTuber, somebody I take a lot of inspiration from. And he's my friend. I have the merit to have him on from time to time. Mansour, shalom to you.
Shalom, shalom, Yishai, and it's an honor to be here and to be called your friend.
Where are you from? Where are you at right now? You're not in your regular haunts right now. You're on the road somewhere. Where are you at?
No, I was actually in Nashville in this beautiful conference that we had, the Judeo-Christian conference that was going on, and now I came to Oregon, and I went to the forest basically to shoot some guns and help my friend do some testing on his sniper rifle and his silencers. So living the American dream.
That's right. So you're shooting guns in America. That makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. And it's fun out there. It's pretty, right? It's good land over there, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes, it's a blessed land, and really the world of the earth is a blessed land. Mansour, before I hit the news, what's going on in your mind? How are you seeing things? Give me kind of an overview of where your mind is at right now, where what you're seeing.
My mind is now my top concern right now is with the shift of young American conservatives and Christians that are being taught lies, blunt lies about the connection and the bond between America and Israel, the Christian and the Jews, that is literally stealing the young generation from their friendship with Israel. And it's very, very concerning because it's going to affect the future as we know it. It's going to affect America, it's going to affect Israel, it's going to affect the West. And that's a top concern that I'm having. And then
Right.
you have, of course, Syria and Iran and everything that's happening between. But I'm actually more worried, to be honest, from the loss of the identity and the soul of the American conservative movement. That's the thing that is worrying me the most.
Did you watch the Huckabee Tucker debate discussion?
Yeah, I watched that one. And I even watched another video where Tucker was talking to a priest from Israel. And you can see bluntly where he's asking some bishop or something, a very nice guy. He's asking like, so how do they treat you in Israel? And the guy said, they treat me very nicely. I mean, we have freedom of religious here. We're very respected. And sometimes, they have places we can't really go to, but that's like everybody. And Tucker, like, which places you can't? I mean, military zones. And then Tucker goes like, did anyone spit on you? And the guy's like, yeah, once someone spit on me. Is that because you're Christian? And then the guy's like, no, listen, they don't hate Christians here, but Israelis, some of them have a little bit of mixed feelings because persecution and everything often happen under Christian countries. So we need to like teach them that we're not the same Christianity. Then Tucker is like, yeah, but it's because they think that Christians are persecuted, and you can see like clearly he's trying to all the time just go and pick up every single rock that will make Israel look bad, and it's blunt lies. And the same thing with that kid that he pretended to have to air this guy that he was murdered, proven not to, but that's just one of many. And I really wonder how is it that Americans are not seeing through it, that Tucker have became the modern day Karen of social media, just going to Walmart and trying to slip on something so he can sue them, and that's basically it.
I want to ask you to find a little bit more microphone niceness. Because people not hearing you, maybe it's not coming in through that mic. I'm not sure. I think it's coming in through the regular set. So check that for a second. In the meantime, let me hear you. Give me a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Better.
A little bit. You're like a little far from the mic. But in any case,
it's probably gonna be better now. Yeah.
Oh, that's better. Oh, there he is.
Here we go.
There is. Bata elenu. Yofi.
Techno savvy.
Good now.
Yeah, it sounds good now. Thank you, Yo. Thank you very much. Okay. And thank you to the good folks out there who are excited to have both of us together. So here's people writing. Thank you, Bernadette. Very good. Okay, so you're totally right. I watched that video, and what can I tell you? I'm not sure that the ambassador was prepared to he's so nice and decent and wanted to have a decent conversation, but that's not what Tucker was about. Tucker was about really besmirching Israel. He used his first 25 minutes to just and it's vile, and like for example, one of the things that he said was that Israel is the most violent country in the world. Here's a version of that. 1 second, let me show you a version about Tucker saying that Israel is the most violent country in the world. Check this out.
Most violent country in the world, Israel. Is there a country in the world where a higher percentage of the population has held a gun or shot someone? I mean, I don't know the answer, but
Anyway, yeah, so Tucker really it was so obvious, but I don't think that the ambassador, who I love, I don't think he was prepared to fight and to call him out. I think he wanted to be a gentleman. He had restraint. He definitely showed that he was, classy and all that, but that was not the winning punch, meaning to say Tucker came out to besmirch Israel and to get right now that video just on YouTube has 2.1 million views, and I'm sure in other avenues, other platforms as well. And so, it's painful, and you're absolutely right. And it's all these tropes, it's all tropes that talk to somebody. For example, Israel's violent. Israel hates Christians. Israel's a pedophile state. Israel harbors criminals. It's and then he uses this kind of psychology. He's like, "Well, I'm not anti-Semitic. I mean, come on." And he does this.
When he left.
Yeah, and he does all this weird stuff, and it's just a way to be like, his whole trick is to say something awful, pull back, and be like, "I don't believe in that. I'm not like that." He already had to retract one big lie, which was he said that the president of Israel was on Pedo Island, on Epstein's Island, and that has been walked back already, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he walked it back. All that matters is that he said it, and he got 2 million people to watch it, and I'm sure that the world is, the youth of America and the world is more filled with anti-Israelism and anti-Semitism than it was the day before.
Yeah, we're witnessing what I call it modern's day blood labeling. The same that happened during Nazi Germany and other times in history, where they will pick on one thing that might have and might have not happened, and even happen out of context, or even probably didn't even happen, and then will label it against an entire nation, meanwhile ignoring other stuff. So it's a classic propaganda tool. It's a classic manipulation, and it's a classic lie, because he will come and say Israel executed this boy. Now Israel didn't execute this boy, and it's amazing actually that as much as you would look, you will not find a single video of an IDF soldier sexually assaulting a woman, of an IDF soldier beheading a child or a mother. You will not find. Doesn't matter how much you would look, you will not find. And we were in this war for a very long time, but where would you find that? Abundantly in Syria, in Sudan, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in many Muslim countries, even some of them that are considered not so. You'll find that there. And the places that you won't find it is in Israel, but he chose not to talk about it. You actually have more Christian persecuted in these countries than ever before. And even the blunt lie where he comes and says there's more Christians in Qatar than in Israel. Let's make this clear. There's not almost a single Christian citizen in Qatar. They're all foreign workers that came to work because the Qataris don't want to work. So they come and they do all the job for them. And they're great people. And they give them in these like neighborhood that they built for them, the worker class neighborhood, they give them the churches. Israel have, if I'm not mistaken, close to almost 200,000 Christians that have equal rights and citizenship. The Christian population is growing. So just to come and paint that as if it's a picture just shows you how much he's trying to lie. But the real question is, why is he trying so hard to lie to the Americans about what's happening? What do I think?
I mean, here's the options. I'll throw out the options too. One option is that he had a Jewish manager or an Israeli something and it went bad. And now that's it. He had a rabbi who said something to him, one of these moments, the moment where the bad moment. That's one option. Doubtful. Remember, by the way, he was like pro-Israel till like 2023. You know what I mean? Another option is that he's a Qatari agent. Another option is that he was never really pro-Israel. Another option is one of the biggest anti-Semitic forces out there today for tactical reasons is China. I don't think the Chinese are anti-Semitic. And in fact, I hear all the time that they're actually very they're very like enamored, jealous, excited, think about Israel. But
they're anti-West.
Right, exactly. They see it as part of the Western axis. And so therefore they're anti-Israel. And the vehicle for the most anti-Israelism in the last a few years, in the 2.5 years of the conflict, has been TikTok. So there's another way to think about it, that maybe he's some kind of Chinese agent, or maybe he just maybe he's just a waspy anti-Semite. You know what I mean?
How about option D, which is all of the above? All of the above. I remember one time I was training with American special forces who were stationed in Germany, and we just became friends, and we were talking. I was Israeli and they were Americans, and we started joking as a joke, who will win in a fight, the IDF or the armed American forces? And we started teasing each other, and then we all came to the same conclusion. I'm talking a skilled fight, not like in a big nation, small nation. And we came to the conclusion that thank God we're on the same side and that we always will have each other's backs. And then we started talking about how enormous is the U.S. military force. America can wage war on the entire planet together and still win, in terms of the capability, the experience, the training, the manpower, and just how vast and technological that army is and the budget that they have. Literally, take nukes aside. So if I was the enemy of America right now, and I want to take away the throne, I want to defeat the reigning champion and take away the lead of planet Earth, kinetically using kinetic powers, I can't do that. Economy, they're a very strong economy. Invade them, you can't do that. There's just so many. I was just here in some of these places. There's just so many people with different guns in different swamps that do this for fun. Like, who's gonna dare to come and fight them? So America is here to stay. They lead AI, space travel. So the only way you can destroy America is by taking down one generation out of the chain, contaminating and take it down. Now, the left have been taken already. You don't need to do anything. They have queers for Palestine. So whoever hates America won that battle. They literally have queer for Palestine and white American liberal chicks voting for a communist Muslim Mamdani. So left, out of the way. He's not a threat anymore. Who stays there? Conservatives. Now, the old conservatives, my age, your age, you can't really fool us because we read books. We met people face to face. We traveled. We have Jewish friends. We have Christian friends. We have Muslim friends. We have friends from all over. We know to filter between these lies that everybody is bad. All of them are evil. All of Israelis are Epstein. It's not going to work on us. We've been to Israel. We know these things. Most Israelis just want to do a duck face on the beach and drinking beer and watch the sunset. They're not even concerned with these political that happen in America. So our generation is not very easy to trick. Who can you trick? The young ones. And how can you do that? By bringing people like Tucker, like Candace, and like others, like Nick Fontes, and start polluting their mind. And one of the best plays, first of all, is to weaken their alliance with Israel. Make them think that Israel is the enemy. Make them think that Islam, the enemy of Israel right now, global Islam, is their friend. So look how Tucker is just fully focused on that. Qatar is good. Qatar is good. Qatar is good. Israel is bad. Israel is bad. He even took the hardest, most makes sense, no sense. Like, if you go in a Muslim country, your head left, you turn your head right in a Muslim country. You just look left, you look right, you'll see so many crimes against humanity, so many hatred towards the West, America, Christians, anything. He's not focusing on that. He is going single-handedly looking for a monk or a nun that looks like she's the Hobbit with, like, I don't know, facial hair that looks like she would climb on the ceiling, flip back and curse the Jews. Oh, I found an anti-Semitic weirdo nun. Let's bring her on my show. Spit some lies about Israel. He's like so hard. And it's not only that.
And Netanyahu, he really goes after Netanyahu. Personally, Netanyahu wants to kill my family. Netanyahu is a demon. It's a police state, most violent state. Netanyahu is going to go after me. You know, it's like, bro, what are you,
what are you doing? Exactly. Like, do you know where they're killing?
But it is successful, isn't it? But it is successful.
It's very successful. We're losing that. We're losing that battle. Right now, we're losing that battle in terms of young conservatives in America that are being just bombarded with lies and fake news about Western allies and the West and America, and been fed up lies about Iran, China, and the Muslim kind of axis around the world. I think that should be a top priority for the conservative movement in America and for a lot of forces in the West to battle that lie and contamination that we're having go to our children and our young ones. That should be a top priority.
That's right. Well, as we're talking about what I call the narrative war, and Tucker is striking at Israel in the narrative war. At the very same time, the Gerald Ford just entered the Mediterranean. Here's what that looks like. Okay, so that is one big ship that has come into the Mediterranean, and we're talking about a narrative war, but there's a very kinetic war that is about to happen. Let's watch an Israeli news report. Actually, let's watch an Israeli news report from Channel 11 about what's happening in Iran and the preparations for war here in the Middle East. Let's take a watch.
המוסדות להשכלה גבוהה בטהרן הפכו היום שוב מוקד של התפרצות מחאה. בשריף ואמיר כביר הגיעו הסטודנטים בבגדים שחורים בניסיון להפוך את פתיחת הסמסטר למפגן כוח נגד המשטר.
Okay, so let's just understand what we're seeing here. We're watching Iranian students loudly, violently, wearing all black and standing up to the regime. Now just understand what we're talking about. We're talking about their brothers and sisters. 50,000, 60,000. I don't know. Some number were murdered in the streets. This standing in protest, although it's in large groups, it doesn't mean that you're going to be safe. So there's courage that's happening here. And they're calling death to the dictator, death to the regime. That's what's happening in Iran right now.
באיראן מציינים בימים אלה 40 ימי אבל לנרצחי המחאות.
40 days, they're commemorating 40 days since the great bloodletting in the streets of Iran.
משפחות חוזרות אל בתי העלמין למפגן של זעם במסווה של חגיגה, הילולת מחאה לזכר אלה שלא ישובו עוד.
They're using the 40 days, the mourning period, as also a protest. So they're wearing black, and there's it's not just mourning, it's actually a protest movement.
مثل این تورش زیاد ما داریم حالا این پسر منه نه پسر شما هست این پسر ایران زمینه.
Okay, my child is actually a child of Iran, and basically the regime murdered him.
32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time.
Wow. So that's Trump saying 32,000. So that's like official numbers, but who knows what the real number is.
They were going to hang 800 2 weeks ago. Hang. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837.
Yeah, but they killed 36,000, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. It's like they didn't hang him. Yeah. No, but they shot the people in the streets.
Yeah, they didn't hang them. And also Donald, with all due respect, came and told the Iranians, go to the streets, take names, help us on the way. And I feel that was in some way a bit misleading, because they were thinking, okay, if we come up now, because remember, on the 12-day war, when Israel went and did the miraculous, operation there, the Iranians, they were shocked. They didn't like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And there was a lot of feeling of missing there. Like, if we would have went to the street then, maybe we would have been able to take down that regime. So now, and sorry, was I?
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
All
We
right.
lost it,
So,
then we got you back. Go ahead, say it again.
So exactly. So remember, on the 12th-day war, when the Mossad and the IDF did what they did, the Iranian people had this like feeling of miss because they didn't run to the streets, and they kept thinking, if we would have went to the streets and would have fought for it, maybe would have taken our country back from that wicked Islamic regime. So now comes rounds 2, and they hear Donald Trump saying, not only Israel, now is America. We are with you. Go out, take names. So they felt like, okay, we can't do the same mistake like last time. We need to go. And they went in thousands of numbers, but then it started getting dragged and dragged and dragged. And now you're having just thousands of people being killed. But what's admirable is seeing that they're still going. These are people, you need to understand, these wicked regimes like the Islamic Republic of Iran, Hezbollah, and all these, other regimes, they don't work, first of all, to defend their citizens from other threats. Their first military focus is, how can we oppress our people and protect the government from their own people? So they're very good at killing their own people. Only when they establish that, now they're safe from the people who might revolt to come and take them down because they're oppressing them, only then they start focusing outwards. So they're very good at killing their own people. So
That's right.
the people in Iran are extreme. They don't have guns. They're not like in America where people can have guns. People can protect themselves. They have nothing. They're literally going in the streets and they're dying in the most horrific way. And if there was ever a cause that the West should rally behind, Yishai, that would be that. You
That's
can
right.
still be an anti-Semite and hate the Jews, hate Israel, but stand with Iranians. They're not Semite. They're not Jews. You can still stand with them. So come on, guys. You hate us. Okay, hate us, but at least stand with them. But it's unbelievable.
Right. Well, one of the things that people understand is that somehow, if you support the Iranian people, you're really supporting the fall of the Iranian regime, and the fall of the Iranian regime means you're means you're causing the fall of Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and that Israel is going to prosper. Sometimes I think to myself that one of the reasons that so many of the Arab countries are telling Trump not to strike Iran, because they make the calculation that in the end of this, Israel will be stronger, and I don't want Israel to be stronger. That bothers me. And so, I rather, that we face, because don't forget, these other Arab countries also face the scourge of Iran.
And also, Yishai, they're afraid. That's the thing that makes the Muslims in the world fear the most, and people miss that all the time. They're afraid of losing land that is under Islam. Doesn't matter if it's Shia or Sunni right now. And they're seeing that the Iranian people are secular. They want to kick away Islam. So in their head, the outcome here will mean that the Ummah, the Islamic Ummah, will have less land that have Sharia law implemented on it. Same thing with Syria. They were afraid that the Druze will get autonomy, the Christians and others. That means that a land that is under Sharia, the oppression of Sharia, will not be anymore. Same thing with Palestine. Saudi Arabia was all against Palestine. All of a sudden, Donald Trump comes and says, let's buy it. Like, whoa, no. So all of a sudden, they're pro-Palestine because, again, Muslims losing their grip over land. And it's always been the game. They want to conquer the world, and they're not willing to give a piece of land to the Christians or the Jews, because that's a big, big loss to their Prophet Muhammad and etc. But I want to ask you a question, Isha. Actually, that's something that I haven't had an answer for. Let's say now we topple the Iranian regime, which I think Israel wants that, America wants that. It's a great thing. But could the Iranian people actually make a better country for themselves? I mean, the Iranian regime now, it's not like there's like 30 really evil people and the rest, like, it's using their own people. So they have a lot of pro-Iranian regime people there. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're capable of actually taking that country and making it better, or is it going to become chaos and mayhem?
I don't know enough about the makeup of Iran. I've never really been there. I've spoken to a lot of people. Some people tell me, experts tell me, that it's like 30% are anti-regime, 30% are pro-regime, and 30% want an Islamic state, but that is not as radical and not as harsh, but still want to. That's what I heard from one source. when I had guests on saying that the Iranian people still want some kind of Islamic country, I had lots of Iranian people writing to me saying, you don't know anything, and we want liberty and freedom. I also see that they have this Reza Pahlavi that they that who seems like an amazing person, really, who there a lot of people are backing. So I don't really know the answer. Like it's a little, you know what I mean? Like Iran is it has a lot of different peoples in it, different ethnicities. It is on the one hand an ancient country, on the other hand it's got all these other peoples like Azeris and other people that are there, and so it's one of these things where if you ask me about Israel, you ask me about the Arabs in my region, I know a lot about it because I've seen it, I felt it. I feel in general that it's very hard to talk about a country until you're there, until you've seen it for yourself. And the only thing that I've seen is the show Tehran, and I've also been to Los Angeles, Tehrangeles, but like I don't know enough really to say it. But I trust that the people of Iran are smart, are ancient, and they'll find a way to have a better regime. I think that they regret the 1979 revolution, and I see those students in the streets, and I want to believe, now the one thing I think I would say to you is, let's not make the same mistake that we made in Iraq, thinking that like, let's just go in there, we'll liberate the people, and they'll just work it out magically. No, they're probably going to need some counseling, some helping, maybe some intermediate government that is forced, and then the people will start to get organized, not just to leave it to itself and into bloodletting and into chaos. So I would say that we have to make a plan. But your critique or question and critique is fair. I've heard that from other people as well, saying there doesn't seem to be a very planned out revolution there's not like a government that's waiting to come in. I would ask our friend Meyer Tusi, who came on the show, and he's an Iranian guy, and he knows the stuff, just like I would ask you about Druze and what they're doing and how they're faring. By the way, how are in short, and I want to go to my next guest, but I just want to ask you, Mansour, Ashkar, how are the Druze faring? You and I a few months ago were on together. They were being massacred by the Syrian regime. Syrian jihadist ISIS type regime is still there. How are your friends and family and the people that you represent doing?
So they're not doing too well. They're still under siege more than 224 days, if I'm not mistaken. Under siege, cannot leave the mountain. If they go out, they get picked, shot, kidnapped, and murdered. And not only them, but also all the other minorities. As we're speaking, if people haven't noticed, whenever there's a big world catastrophe or event, that's when the Syrian regime chooses to focus on another ethnicity and basically cleanse them. So now the war in Iran, they went on the Kurds. When everybody's eyes on Iran, they went on the Kurds. Before they went on the Druze and the Christians, and
before that, on the Alawites.
On the Alawites, exactly. So every minority, which was the whole idea before, to cleanse Syria from all the non-Muslims. So if you're talking about a real ethnic cleansing that is happening, it's in Syria. Now, what's concerning to most right now, the Druze and the Christians and other minorities in Syria, is seeing how all of a sudden, under the leadership of Tom Barak, America have abandoned the Kurds, which were their allies on the ground, and went and sided with ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And then they went and killed the Kurds and released all the prisoners from the jails, like literally released ISIS prisoners with Syrian soldiers wearing ISIS patches, and did that with the support of America, because Tom Barak went in with a clear statement, even, we are now with these guys, they're helping us fight ISIS, but they're not. So the people in Syria are seeing that, and they're terrified, because they're like, wow, next round is going to come again. And it looks like they managed to actually fool the Americans to believe that ISIS and Al-Qaeda are the good guys, and anyone who's fighting them is the bad guys, which is something unheard of. And the average American doesn't even know about that. Here, you want to hear a crazy conspiracy one? That's a good one, actually. So Kurdish soldiers who are fighting with America to defeat ISIS, who are backed up and trained by the US, and they received US equipment that had a dead man switch in it, which means if it ever falls into the hands of ISIS, America had the power to stop that equipment from working, from rocket launchers all the way to armored vehicles and etc. Some Kurdish reports are saying that these weapons and technology stopped working when ISIS and Al-Qaeda came to attack them, because the Kurds were the strongest army in Syria, the strongest. and they were taken down in 2 days. Unbelievable, like completely. So some of them are saying, did America shut the switch on us? What happened here? Or the Turks got permission from the Americans, tell them, listen, shut the switch, we're gonna go fight ISIS. So they sold them this kind of lie, and America said, okay. Tom Barak convinced the US, listen guys, and Tom Barak is very, very invested. I call Tom Barak the Arab Epstein of the Arab world. If you see the level of corruption that he is in it when it comes to Arab elites in the Middle East is insane. He was investigated by the DOJ for that exactly, for being an agent for these countries. And he was also on the Epstein file. And he's right now leading this thing that is devastating, catastrophic for Israel, for the Middle East, for all the minorities, which is empowering Turkey and the jihad in Syria to come and be the strong force that takes Syria and bring again an October 7th threat into our borders. They also want to put them in Gaza.
Mansour, I'm going to ask you to send me some more information, videos or articles on this. I need to know more about this. I feel like I don't know enough about it, and I'm going to read about it and then have you on again to discuss what's really going on. I don't like to be, outside of the know, and I don't know everything you're talking about. And you know what? Again, it's this moment where I say Israel has a chance to empower the Druze, empower the Kurds, empower others, make them part of the satellites, arm them, train them, give them independence, and help create a kind of puzzle of the Middle East of anti-jihad, pro-liberty, pro-peace folks that are united in a kind of belt that pushes back on jihadism. That's not what's happening. That's not what we're seeing. Mansour, I want to thank you so much for being with us. You're an Israeli Druze, a father, former IDF Special Forces officer. You live abroad. You're a YouTuber, and you're out in Oregon shooting guns with friends. I hope you enjoy the time there, and wish you lots of blessings. Thank you so much for coming on such short notice. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shai. The pleasure is mine.
Kol hakavod, Mansour. Thank you so much for being with us. And now we have somebody who's a special guest of the show today, Sinijlawi is somebody who is has more. He is more on Israeli media than any other. What he calls Palestinian Arab. He is a Fatah representative, but he is fighting hard for reform within the PA, and he's standing up against Mansour Abbas, who is today the leader who seems to never die within the Palestinian Authority. And we have with us Sinwar, which is fun because, Samer. Sinwar, Sinwar is a different guy. He's gone, but Samer is with us. Samer, shalom, and thank you so much for joining us here on Yishai Fleischer TV. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rabbi. Well, just let me correct two names. So my name, you corrected, it's Samer.
Samer.
And then I am opposition to Mahmoud Abbas and not Mansour Abbas. Mansour Abbas is MK, and he's an Israeli politician.
Let me start this again, okay? Samer Sinijlawi is a Palestinian political activist. Samer is the only high-profile Palestinian politician who visited the Gaza envelope after the 7th of October and condemned Hamas in front of cameras. Samer visited the Shiva, the mourning period of the Bibas family who was murdered in Samaria, and asked Yarden Bibas for a pardon. Samer was in Israeli jail at the age of 15 and for 5 years, and was later elected after his release to be the head of the Fatah youth. He was elected as the head of the international and Israeli relations on the on the Fatah Supreme Committee, was in charge of relations between Fatah and the majority and major political parties in Europe, in the Arab world, as well as in Israel. He is the voice of opposition to Mahmoud Abbas, not Mansour Abbas, and calls for Palestinian reforms and democracy, and believes in Israeli-Palestinian dialogue and coexistence, which is, it's very fun to have you. Before we even get to anything else, Samer, tell me what you're seeing. What is the big picture right now? How do you see the situation? Gaza, Iran, Arabs in Judea and Samaria, Arabs in Israel. Give me your perspective for a second.
Well, the last 2.5 years were very painful to everybody, Rabbi. And there was a lot of pain, a lot of suffer. There was a lot of ugly things that were happening on both sides of the fence. But let me tell you something, because I'm part of the Palestinian people, I know very much Palestinians, and I have been 38 years engaged in dialogue with the Israelis. And I can claim that I know, I understand the Israelis very well. I understand the need and necessity for security. I understand also their share of the pain. And let me tell you something. I discovered, Rabbi, that the whole world, including us towards each other, we try to judge ourselves and the other side, see the other side and see ourselves from a very surface way. And on a surface level, there is a dark black image. Okay, this conflict hasn't been a very nice one to anybody. There is a lot of hard feelings. There is a lot of incitement, hatred. It's there. You can see it. You can see it in a very clear way. But if somebody is able to dive a little bit at a certain depth, we can discover a reservoir of joint humanity, a common humanity that brings everybody who is living here between the river to the sea. Everybody is human being. Nobody can claim that anybody, the other side collectively, is not human. So if we are able to build our relation and connect on that level of depth, we will be able to be in a better place. The majority now of people are confused. There is mistrust. The term that there is no partner on the other side. It's true. That's how both sides feel to each other. And you know, this term of partner is not only a political need, it is definitely a security requirement. There should be a partner on the other side. And that partner will be the safety valve for security, for freedom, for everything that lacks everybody. This conflict, in a way or another, it's two words. At one side, it is security. At the other side, it's freedom.
It's also
And let me
land.
tell
It's also land, and it's also God, right? Like for me, when I hear what you're saying, I say to myself, it's not that there's really another side. There's two different national goals, and for me, being a so-called settler or a resettler, and I'm proud of that. It's really not so complex. I say the land belongs to the Jewish people, to Israel. We have other nations living amongst us. They have personal rights, certainly, but maybe not national rights. And so I want to see Arabs that love Israel, that want to live in this land, so-called Palestinians, live a good life, live with upward mobility. I give residency to Arabs that call themselves Palestinians, as long as that they're follow the law, are willing to be governed by the Jewish state Israel, and are happy with their identity as Arabs, as so-called Palestinians, as Muslims, as long as they accept that there's a Jewish state and that's the state that they live in, and that they're willing to use the blessings of the Jewish state for upward mobility. And what I just said, all that I said now, is something that I hear all the time that Arabs say to me. That's exactly what we're willing to take. We're willing to take. I hear in Hebron, I hear it all the time. Other Arabs say, no, we're not willing to do that, but we are willing to sell. And just this week, we had 5 big Arab houses be sold to Jews in Hebron legally. There was no violence. There was no anything. Not now, Jews are living amongst Arabs in a big Arab neighborhood, but there's so far no problems, and we don't expect any problems. So we have a solution for the other side. We just, from my perspective, we just have to be assertive, aggressive, and then we'll have many Arabs who are going to thank us for the opportunity to live in a very successful state called Israel, and take away from them the Palestinian Authority, the PA. So to me, the solution is not so complex. And the other side has been repressed a lot, the decent other side, and we have to let those decent people have the safety and security to speak and to speak their willingness to live, amongst Jews in the state of Israel.
This could be a valid opinion within the Israeli society, but I don't think it represents the majority of Israelis for the simple fact what prevented Israel, including the current full right wing, Yamin Male Male, to do annexation. Okay, so
They're
it
not
doesn't
ready
seem
yet,
that
but they're moving towards that. They're not
I
ready.
don't know what I don't know what is ready. I mean, this is a
We
decision
do
that
know what
can
is
take
ready.
it can take 5 minutes in the cabinet. I mean, this decision
No,
it needs to
but
be.
the country's not ready yet because they're not ready with infrastructure for Arabs and a million other things. You know that the security cabinet just last week made huge decisions about seeing having an easier time to purchase from Arabs in Judea and Samaria, to be able to see the ledgers and full Jewish control where Jews are found, and they walk back part of the Oslo Accord. So you do know the government is moving.
I trust Israelis and Israeli politics much better than me, and you can give
No,
a
no,
better
you know it
assessment.
better than me. You know it better than me. I know you know it better than me. Don't be tricky.
Well,
I know you know the
I
state
want to
better
tell
than
you something. I have lots of friends in the left, in the center, in the right, in the far right. You are one of them. I'm very proud to say that you are a friend if you accept my friendship.
I do.
And I know you do. But Rabbi, it's not as easy as it looks. Okay, I mean, but let us say that theoretically you're correct that Israel is so determined. The Israel I know, 70% of them currently oppose a political settlement that based on the two-state solution out of security concerns, not really out of ideology. Ideology is there, but maybe it's 10 to 15% of the Israeli society. But yet, if that's true, if your confidence is accurate that Israel knows what it wants to do with the Palestinians and that the option is annexation, please do it. What are you waiting for? I have been hearing this. I have been hearing this. It is a slogan on the wall, Rabbi. Nobody really put content to it. Nobody really understands its consequences.
I just told you that the security cabinet made decisions that basically start to roll back the Y Accords and the Hebron Accords. You're right; it's a process. It's taking time. But I think the Arabs in at least where I live, they see it happening. They see it happen. They see the army supporting the settlements.
They waited.
The little farms.
If they were serious, Rabbi, if they were serious, if I was one of the member of that cabinet, I would have done it in January 23, directly after. You don't do it in an election campaign period. Okay, so I see this as more an election campaign more than reality. Anyhow,
the Jews being slow and rolling back a bad policy is I have to agree with you. What can I say? Of course I agree with you. But that doesn't mean
anyhow annexation. And I want to ask you some question about annexation. Now look at me. I am your dream. I am your dream. I am an ex-Palestinian. You know? I'm from East Jerusalem. I have the blue ID. I don't have citizenship. I have the blue ID. I have a car with a yellow plate, just like your car. I can drive from Tel Aviv to Kiryat Arba. I can visit you in Hebron, and I can go for a dinner in Tel Aviv. Do you want another 5 million Palestinians to be exactly like me? This is my dream. It's your nightmare. Go ahead, please do it. What are you waiting for?
No, Ivanti, I don't understand. What happened? Where was the logical? I missed the logical point there.
I missed the logical
point. Where was the nightmare?
The nightmare is that you will have another 5 million Palestinians with the residency right.
Where's the nightmare?
Well, I guess, you know, do you want your Hebron neighbors to start coming to the Miyuhadet clinic in Kiryat Arba? Do you want 50% of El Al flight to be Palestinians on board? Rabbi, I will tell you a small story.
You said it was you pointed to yourself. You explained to me that you're an Arab with a resident, that you have freedom of travel. You look like a successful person. You come off great on camera. You speak well. You look like you're doing well in life. Just the image that you give off. Then you tell me that 5 million people like me is your nightmare.
Your nightmare.
Yeah. Did you
Your
say that's my
nightmare,
nightmare?
my
How is
dream, my dream. I
How is
would
it?
like to
How
see.
is it that
I would.
5 million more Arabs like you who seem decent and have upward mobility
I'll
living
tell
as
you.
residents in my
I'll
country?
tell you why.
How is that a
Because
nightmare? You
I'll
know
tell
what?
you why.
I'll tell you what
Because
you meant. I'll tell you what you meant. I'll help you. Okay. What you meant is that you
no,
thought
I
that you're
can explain
talking.
myself, but I want you. I want you to start this explanation, and then I'll follow up, please.
I was gonna, of course, let you say it, but I meant to say that what you think when you speak to me is that you're talking to a Tel Aviv a friend, like a Tel Aviv lefty. You think that I think that 5 million, let's say, it'll probably be less because a lot will leave, but let's say some number of Arab residents in my land is my nightmare. I don't feel that way. I never felt.
Well,
It's confusing to me.
I have the impression, I may be wrong, Rabbi, that most of the Israelis would like to live in a Jewish democratic state. So a Jewish democratic state needs to have a majority of Jews. So I can't say
that's so old talking points. That's like talking points from 20 years ago, man.
So enlighten me. How do you see the future? If you achieve annexation now, enlighten me. Give me.
It's just like every other Arab country.
I admit, Rabbi, I have lack of imagination. Enlighten me. Drive me through the state of residents, inhabitants, citizens, all together in a one state reality that have an extension of the whole land, including the inhabitants. Drive me through this.
Let me ask you this. What the hell is the difference? We already have them as residents or something else. They're already under our care one way or the other. I mean, this Palestinian Authority, you perfectly well know that the money and even the blue residency card for Arabs in so-called PA comes printed in Israel. We know it's the same thing. What the hell is the difference? Let there be a Maccabi, a health clinic in Ramallah or in El Khalil. You think there's a difference? There's no difference, except the difference is Israel will be strong, will be sovereign. So what? What's the problem? Oh, you think I'm afraid of Arabs sitting next to me in the airplane? Bro, I'm here in Judea and Samaria. I shop with Arabs. I drive with Arabs. They're in my mechanic shop. They're giving me the medicine in Gush Etzion in the pharmacies. Come on. Who do you think you're talking to here? A Tel Aviv Jew. We live with Arabs day in and day out. Come on. You're telling me that the decent Arabs that have residency, I should be afraid of them. Come on. You're talking to like lefty Jews.
Well,
I'm not like that around here. Okay, we're not. We know Arabs.
Okay. I may have not included you in this, but the majority of Israelis are sensitive to this issue. I'll tell you a small story about
today.
I was on El Al flight coming back from a vacation with the family, and I'm a father of 9 kids.
Where did you vacation?
I was in Larnaca coming back to Tel Aviv. It was a short flight. I have 9 kids, so I am a Palestinian Haredi in the scale of number of family. So my wife asked my 12 years old son Yusuf to go and bring some hot water from the flight attendants to arrange the formula for Omar, who is 2 years old. Yusuf went. Yusuf does not speak Hebrew. He went, and then he came back with the flight attendants who was very angry, and he said, "Who is the father?" He was shouting, and he said, "I am the father. What's wrong?" He said, "You need to educate your son." As I asked my son, "What has happened?" He said, he asked me in Hebrew. I said, "I don't speak Hebrew." He told me, "Are you American?" I answered him in English. I told him, "No, I am Palestinian," and he got angry. Okay. He got angry. And when my son said again Palestinian, the flight attendant got angry again, and he said, "This is my second warning. You cannot be on El Al and claim to be Palestinian." And I am a Palestinian that has I am a platinum member in El Al. And guys, I am loyal. I like El Al. I fly El Al. I take my family, my family in El Al. I have the highest status of El Al. But El Al can be an Israeli airline that flies American, Germans, Emiratis, also Palestinians. But I know that this word also, it was very heavy for you to digest. You said he claims to be a Palestinian, an Arab who
I
claims
don't
to
like
be.
that. It's true because I don't like that word for a very simple reason. Because when I see Palestine on a cup that's sold in the old city, it has the whole map of Israel and says Palestine. So I don't like Palestine because Palestine
Well,
tries to
it
erase
has.
Israel.
You can find cups in Tel Aviv that have the whole map and say Israel. I mean,
I
we
like those
both.
cups.
Okay, so you see,
I'm against Palestine. I'm not here to be equal. I am against
Rabbi.
Palestine. I'm against Palestine trying to take over my land. I'm admitting it. I'm telling you right now. If you give me a cup that says Israel, I'm happy. You give me a cup that says Palestine, I'm like, these people are my enemies. They want to destroy me. Happens to be that you're a cool
Well,
guy.
it
You're
should
top
be both.
platinum on Allah. No, I don't think it should be both at all. I want to erase the concept of Palestine and have it take over my land. I absolutely reject it. And I think that Palestine is the enemy of Israel and has been globally, that from the river to the sea, they want to erase Israel. So I want to erase the thing that wants to erase me. I'm not denying it.
Well, I don't think that anyone really intend to drive the other side to the sea. And let me tell
No,
you something.
nobody intends
This,
to drive the other
this.
side into the sea. You're right. It's just they don't even mean it. That's such the classic like Arab type of thing. No, the guys that threw rocks at you are from a different village and they came up and it's small rocks. It's not. Come on, do me a favor. Hamas doesn't intend to drive us into the sea. Come on.
Well, yeah, maybe Hamas, but Hamas is not the Palestinians.
Hamas
And
is part
Rabbi,
of the Palestinians.
let me a little bit speak about the history and about religious. You started with I think very nice statements at the beginning on land, on God, on history, on religion. Let me share with you how I see the religious relation between both of us. And I will say it very honestly. You know, we are today in Ramadan. I have been fasting. The way we Muslims.
And I wanted to say to you, Ramadan Kareem, by the way, or Ramadan
Thank you,
Mubarak.
thank you, Rabbi. The way we fast, Muslims, is exactly the way Jews fast. We stop eating and drinking at early morning until sunset. I noticed also from my several visits to synagogues that before entering to the prayer room, there is a washroom. It's exactly what we have in our mosques. There is the washroom where we both wash our hands before we enter to the prayer. We pray 3 times at least, identically at the same timing. We pray 2 more, but 3 of our prayers, the 3 Jewish prayers, and among the 5 Muslim prayers, 3 of them are exactly on the same timing of Jewish prayers. There is a lot of common ground between religions. We have inherited all the morality of the Jewish religion. Now, there are some people who are
Wait.
politicizing Islam
1 second. You forgot
in
to
an ugly
say
way.
you forgot to say also that Arab who self-identify as Palestinians have a very close DNA to the Jews, that our
Yeah.
languages are similar. We have a very close language system. And so therefore, Jews and Arabs are related. That's one of the reasons why it's so upsetting sometimes when you see that they call Jewish presence in the land of Israel an occupation, and that somehow we're foreign, when they know perfectly well that we are cousins, that we're from the same place, that we're from the same region, that we speak similar language, similar DNA. So the lie of occupation is an amazing lie, as though we don't belong here, as though we're white, colonialist, apartheidist. Now you're telling us that we have a lot of similarity. That's because we're from the same region, from the same father, Abraham. We trace our lineage to Abraham directly. But somehow in the Arab and Muslim world, it's been kind of like erased that we're the children of Abraham, that we're
Well,
from
this is something that should be corrected. I think there is some slight correction that should happen to the 2 narratives. Now the 2 narratives deny the links of the other side to the land. I think we as Palestinians should start by correcting our narrative. We should recognize the historical links of Jews to this land because it is a fact. It is even documented most powerfully in our holy book, in the Quran, in the biggest chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah. We can have exactly the same stories of Abraham Avenu, our father Abraham and Joseph and Moses, and the same stories you find in the Torah, you find in the Quran. So there is no reason for us to deny this system. Yes, you belong here. But also there is no reason to ignore the fact that Jews have never been alone in this. There was always others. and these others are us.
I
There
don't
is
deny that there's others.
there is
I just deny
a
that there's
long
national rights. I don't
there is
deny
a long
I just don't think there was ever
well,
a Palestine, and therefore I think that that Arabs who identify as Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians, whatever that is, they should live within Israel, just like we live within Arab countries. Not a problem.
well,
I just
well,
I don't want
well,
to cut up my land and
Rabbi,
make it fail.
3,500 years mostly were years of coexistence between Jews and Islam. The last
like
100 years went wrong. Only the last 100 years went wrong.
Islam is only 1,500 years old. Let's 1,400 years. Let's not exaggerate. Okay, you mean
I said
maybe
thousands.
I'm saying that it's only 1,400 years old, Islam, which is okay, which is a long time.
Okay.
But I'm just saying let's not exaggerate. The 3,000 years that hasn't been Muslims, maybe Arabs or local peoples that were related, maybe children of Abraham. But Islam is the youngest of the three great Abrahamic religions.
Well, it's
case,
the generations that have been occupying. But let me tell you something, Rabbi. If you go to demographical fact, now let's leave a little bit the religious and historical aspects. If you go to the demographical fact, there are 7 million Jews between the river and the sea, and there are 7 million non-Jews on the same.
I think that's an exaggeration, but I think, I have to say it my way. I think that there are probably a little bit less than 2 million Arabs in Judea and Samaria, the so-called West Bank, about 2 million Arabs living in Israel, regular, and who knows, but less than 2 million Arabs living in Gaza. So approximately, let's say 6 million, maybe 5 million Arabs who can identify as Palestinians, and 7 million Jews. That's what I think is between.
Well, the most recent statistics shows 7,200,000. Anyway, you go to the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, using the Jewish term. There are currently like 500,000 Jews living in Judea and Samaria and the West Bank. Despite the right-wing government that has invested billions of shekels in the last 3 years, including 7 billion in roads only. And you can also know a lot of measures that has been taken by. There is a negative migration. Jews who are leaving the West Bank are more than those.
No, they are.
Well, I have the statistics.
Listen, the word Palestinian statistics is usually an oxymoron.
No. It's a very Jewish, very Israeli statistics.
There is no statistic. There is no credible statistic that says that Jews are leaving Judea and Samaria. Jews are moving into Judea and Samaria. I know, Samer. I am a city councilman in this town here in Judea. We are exploding. Can't build fast enough around here. Every house that we build costs 3 million shekel and it's filled in a second. Okay, we have farms, we've got caravans, we've got people moving in. We buy Arab houses, they're moving in. Do me a favor. And not only that, Summer, when I was born, there were 3 million Jews in the land of Israel. Today, there are 7. You guys can keep rolling up these dreams, these statistics.
No, I have no. I don't play. I don't think numbers really matter. It's principles more. So I'm very happy to see more Jews coming and settling here. And I mean, let me tell you something, Rabbi. The way I see the two-step solution, which I believe it's the only.
Don't be a Tucker Carlson, okay? Don't be giving us weird facts and then later apologizing. There are not.
I can share with you.
You can share all you want. There's no negative migration. I'm telling my audience. What Samer said is not true. There is no negative migration from Judea and Samaria of Jews. That's just factually not true. We are moving in constantly and we're building it up. You can send me anything you want. I
can correct my information. I will share with you the link of these statistics. I'll be happy to receive from you a more accurate link, and then I will update. But I will share with you. It's a Jewish Israeli source that shows this. Actually, they updated on a weekly basis, so you can see where you have some negative migration. Where in some towns they come more, in other towns they leave more.
Summer, let's go on. Let's not waste time of my audience.
I want to tell you about the way I see a smart two-state solution, a two-state solution that guarantees Israelis and the Jewish people a Jewish democratic state, which I think the majority of Israelis would like to have, and also guarantees the Palestinians their statehood, where I am totally against of any Jews to be forced to leave. It's not like evacuating Sinai. If you, Rabbi, would like to stay in Hebron as an Israeli citizen, as a Jewish Israeli citizen who is resident in the state of Palestine, where the state of Palestine will be 100% responsible on your security and you respect its laws, nobody should push any Jews away.
What a beautiful thought. What a beautiful thought. And I'm giving you the same offer. You want to be a resident of the state of Israel, and the state of Israel will be in charge of your security. You could be a resident, and no Arabs should have to leave if they are
Okay, I accept, but I have understood and respected your need to be a citizen of at least one state, and I said you are an Israeli citizen. I want to be a resident of the state of Israel. But under which residency? What will be my residency? What will be my passport? Do you want me to continue my life and my kids without any kind of residency, at least in one state? What is the state that I should belong to?
Residency in the state of Israel. Residency in the state
citizenship and citizenship.
No citizenship.
I want to be citizen. How come? Rabbi, for God's sake.
So have a
we are in the 21st century, Rabbi.
Yes.
You cannot say that some people.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Everybody on the service of this world.
The majority of people that live in Qatar, are they citizens? Majority of people that live in Saudi Arabia.
They are citizens of a certain state, yes. Yeah. They come from India. They are citizens of India, residents of Qatar. They come from Pakistan. They are Pakistani. What am I to you? If I want to be a resident of the state of Israel, under what citizenship? Which passport?
No, why is that a problem? We'll get you Jordanian, we'll get you Syrian, we'll get you Saudi.
None of them will consider us. You haven't been able to convince one state to have immigrants from Gaza, Rabbi. Let's be realistic. Let's go to politic real.
I know that you Arabs hate one another so badly that you can't even give your own people citizenship, even though they're living in a different country.
It's not the same people. Jordanians are Jordanians, Lebanese are Lebanese, Syrians are Syrians, Israelis are Israelis, and Palestinians are Palestinians.
Samir, you're not talking to a Tel Aviv lefty, okay? I know what Jordanians are, and I know they're the exact same people. I've been to Jordan. I know the crossing. I know that it's all a big Palestinian crossing. Do me a favor. Keep the silly stuff for the lefties in Tel Aviv. I know what Jordan is. It's a totally fake country, which we totally know is the other Palestine. Taseli Tova, do me a favor. And so we will get your Jordanian citizenship that you so want, although we all know what Arab citizenship is in any Arab country. It means nothing, right? An Israeli residency is 10 times better than a Jordanian citizenship, and you know it. So I say,
okay, then Rabbi, bring the Jordanian to the table. Let them say we grant them citizenship. I will accept your residency. Okay, let's start with this. Bring the Jordanians to the table to say that
I'll tell you
we are accepting to provide citizenship.
I'll go to the so-called king. Okay, I'll go to King Abdullah and his wife Rania, right? And I'll go over there, and I'll say to them like this. Right now, we provide you water and electricity and security. We all know that without Israeli security, without Israeli water, without Israeli electricity, Jordan is dead. So how about we'll do this? You will grant our Arabs citizenship so Samer could feel that he has citizenship, and we will continue to provide you with all the things that make your country go. If not, if you can't help us with our problem and give these decent Arabs like Samer a citizenship so that we can give them residency and the rest will be under out, we will take care of them. Okay, then you will not have our water, electricity, security, and you'll go the way of the dodo, which is what the natural thing that Jordan can do is, go the way of the Nabateans and evaporate into the desert. So I say, no problem. We'll have a talk with the Jordanians. I know how to talk with them. I can speak their language in that sense. And you will have both a Jordanian citizenship and Israeli residency as long as you can, as long as you're. And don't worry,
Rabbi,
you'll fly on El Al without a problem. Well, you'll fly.
I understand really that you need to fight for a cause you believe in, and I respect this. But also. The fact that there are 7 million Palestinians who feel Palestinian, who give themselves this kind of identity, should be respected. I mean, who told you that I feel Jordanian? Who told you that I feel Egyptian? I feel Palestinian, Rabbi. And somebody needs to acknowledge that.
If Palestinian means like being a Druze, where you have a town that has an Arab culture, let's call it for the sake of argument, we'll call it a Palestinian culture and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I only have a problem if you say, I want a different state in your land. You want a different state in my land? Now we got a war. Now we got a problem. Now we have to have
we need to continue such a deep dialogue in a way that we try our best to fulfill the needs of everybody in this land, both people in this land. Now, there could be other scenarios that we can come to. I mean, if it is not the two-state, then maybe it's something else, but it needs to acknowledge the needs of the Palestinians to have their own national pride. And we need to be sure that Jews are respected with their heritage, with their state, with their Jewish democratic state, a state that is fully integrated in the Middle East, that we see ourselves as ally or together against the threat that you have your previous guest talking about. It's Iran. Iran is the challenge for all of us. They don't like the Sunnis. They don't like the Jews. They are a threat to everybody. And they are existential threat to maybe the whole stability of the Middle East. So we need to focus on this. And I think the region understands this strategic threat. The Saudis have this feeling with the Israelis that there is a threat in that regime in Tehran. The Emiratis. Look about the Abraham Accords, especially during the war, Rabbi. I am, as a Palestinian, I was really impressed how the Abrahamic agreements hold all the time during the war, where the Emiratis at the peak of the war quadrupled their flights to Tel Aviv from Abu Dhabi and Dubai, when all the American airlines and the European airlines, the usual allies of Israel, stopped flying. The Emiratis quadrupled their flight.
That's
right. So in a way or another, the endorsement of the Jewish people, of Israel as a state, you, Rabbi, with what you represent, where you live now, can be strongly through the region that has the willingness to do this integration. It's just we need to see how can the Palestinian issue be integrated in the discussions and the concerns and the arrangements in a very responsible way. We might find a way that fulfills everything you want and provide me with the minimum that I need. But we need to start this discussion in a very open-minded and open heart. We need to earn the respect and the trust of each other, the way me and you are earning the trust and the respect of each other. Collectively, we need to have that momentum. And I'm sure that we are smart enough to find a way. It's just we need to have political will and determination to find that way.
Summer Sinijlawi, I want to first thing wish you a happy Ramadan, and thank you very much for coming on the show. And we have, I'm going to have you on again, inshallah, if you let me. I will have you on again to talk about Gaza, Gaza, which we did not really speak about today, and we have more to talk about what's going on there. We talked philosophically, but I want to talk to you also, as we say in Hebrew, brass tacks, tachlis, what's going down on the ground over there. But I'm very glad that the audience got a chance to hear from you. You are a high-profile Palestinian politician who visited the Gaza envelope, condemned Hamas. You are a Palestinian political activist, and today you're the voice of opposition to President Abbas and call for Palestinian reforms, and I appreciate you coming on. We have a lot we can agree on. We have a lot we disagree on, but of course, people can see very clearly why you are one of the big representatives of Palestinianism, because of how erudite and well-spoken you are. I appreciate your time on our program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Rabbi, for the invitation. I'll be happy to come again. Thanks.
God bless you. Thank you very much. Bye. All right. That was fun. That was a fun and important conversation. You're not going to get that anywhere else. You're going to get it here on Yishai Fleischer TV. I got to turn off this heat. Hold on 1 second. Oh, yeah. 1 second. Oh, my gosh. The heat was too hot. Anyway, God bless you folks for sticking with us and checking out, listening to important conversations. Notice we've been on for an hour and 13 minutes. We haven't had one Jewish voice. We had a Druze voice. We had Samer, a self-styled Palestinian, an Arab from this region. a Fatah representative. So we're talking about a lot of very important stuff. Okay, let's get to the videotape. We got to get to Tucker Carlson. Despite our differences of opinion, I could finally hear a civilized conversation. That's right. That's what you have here at Yishai Fleischer TV. And I do urge you and ask you to like, subscribe, comment. I want you to like, subscribe, and comment. Please do it right now. It has something to do with the mighty algorithm. Mighty algorithm. So like, subscribe, and comment right now. And if you love this show, you can super chat, because chatting is for Clark Kent, but super chatting is for Superman. And you can super chat and support our show, and it will be tremendously appreciated. Will make a big difference in the continuing effort to broadcast the truth and the light of Israel to you from around wherever you are around the world, from here, the heartland of the Holy Land, Judea and Samaria and Jerusalem. Baruch Hashem. We didn't finish the news before, so I want to finish the news update from wait, where were we? We were I was showing you a news with Mansour Ashkar. I want to finish that up, and then we'll get to the Tucker Carlson segment. So here's the rest of the news from Channel 11.
Supposedly they didn't hang anybody, but no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell.
טבעת החנק הצבאית מתהדקת סביב טהרן.
All right, the serious warships are coming to strangle Tehran.
משחטת USS מהן נצפתה חוצה את גיברלטר כחלוץ של קבוצת התקיפה פורד.
Okay, that one wasn't even an aircraft carrier. Okay, that was part of the strike group.
עם האזורים נרשמה תנועה חסרת תקדים של מטוסי תובלה ומטוסי קרב מסוג F-15E. הפנטגון לא מותיר מקום לספק. האולטימטום של טראמפ מגובה בכוח אדיר שכבר נמצא בתנועה.
Okay, so Trump's ultimatum is backed up by serious force.
I'd say they're more likely than not. And again, it's driven by two things. I'd say the negotiation, what comes out of the negotiations. I would also say how well we understand the impact of the internal. I think both those dimensions are being assessed at the moment, and that will define if and when we go. But I sense it's more a matter of when, not if.
גם האיראנים מנסים להפגין שרירים.
Okay, so the Americans are making it clear that force is more than an option. It's on the table. It's really real, and it's ready to go. It's basically a cocked pistol pointing. Now the question to me is the trigger. The question is what's happening on the Iranian side and the Khamenei side. That's the question. This government, says the Iranians, the government will now not bow its head. They will not be contrite. And this is the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian.
עכשיו טהרן מאיימת לפגוע בנוסעות המטוסים
Okay, so Tehran is threatening to strike at the aircraft carriers. In my point of view, if they do, that's the trigger. The issue right now is the trigger. And you can feel it. You know, you watch these images, you can feel it's an issue of trigger. What's going to trigger?
להשייט האמריקנים.
مأموریت این ناوهای محافظ در تنگه هرمز. انهدام اهداف هوایی
Okay, so they're saying, the Iranians are saying, we've got these missiles. We can now their threats are a little bit idle because we saw what happened in the 12th Day War in the summer. So it's like, okay, well, you say you have these missile defenses. Well, but maybe they have some kind of secret up their sleeve. But, you know, last round, they didn't seem to have a real secret up their sleeve.
تخاصم به شناورهای تندرو و سکوهای پرتاب موشک‌های کروز است. با موشک صیاد
Okay, so these are Iranian missiles, and they're putting out propaganda films to try to scare the American force.
F که هدف خود را در فاصله 150 کیلومتری رهگیری و منهدم می‌کنند.
Okay, they're showing off the power of their missiles.
בעולם לא מחכים לראות מה יוליד יום. אוסטרליה ושוודיה כבר קראו לאזרחים לעזוב את איראן.
Okay, so now countries are calling on their citizens to leave Iran. They have credible warnings and threats. They sense that it's dangerous, and so they're calling on their citizens. Australia and Sweden, I've heard other ones, are leaving immediately, leaving Iran immediately.
איראן באופן מיידי, מחשש שהשמיים ייסגרו והמתיחות תהפוך לעימות גלוי.
We are very concerned about the heightened rhetoric we're seeing around the region, by the heightened military activities, war games, or just military, increased military naval presence.
This is the UN spokesman. Hey, bro, it's not exercises. Okay, that's the bad guys are exercising. The good guys are actually planning to attack.
And in the region.
איראן נדחקת אל הקיר בין התקוממות מבית למצור בחוץ. כשהספירה לאחור של וושינגטון מהדהדת ברחובות טהרן, השאלה היא כבר לא האם תפרוץ האש, אלא מה יישאר מהרפובליקה האסלאמית ביום שאחרי.
Okay, so the big question is what's going to remain of the Islamic Republic the day after, and that's what's the issue that's being discussed right now.
בארצות הברית ובעיקר בישראל, מקווים שלא הרבה.
Okay, so Israel is certainly on the side of seeing the Iranian regime fall, and as we saw in the beginning of the video, students in Iranian universities are calling for the fall of the regime, and they're doing it by risking their own life. I'm just wondering. Well, let me show you this. Check out this video. It's a silent video of the buildup of American warplanes in Crete. Check this out. All right. Look at those giant ships, giant aircraft. Those are F-35s over there on the right. Okay, and just there's tons of military aircraft already in Crete. So, it keeps going and going and going. They're all parked out there. That's just in Crete, but there's in other islands as well, all around the region. There's islands that I never even heard of in the Atlantic that are being set for refueling. That is a lot of firepower, and that's just on the island of Crete. Okay, those are C-130s, Hercules. Okay, and there's a lot of armament ready to go. So really, friends, yes, ma'am.
Did you show the father, the Iranian teacher who came into the classroom piece? I think we didn't see that one yet.
No, I chose not to show that one right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just showing people the tension and the buildup right now. There is another video that I want to play, but I'm out of time for that because what I really want to do right now is shift gears. All right, and I want to shift gears and get into the Tucker video.
Ask you, everyone I've talked to.
We're gonna do this whole what we did here. My team, what they do. Okay, you know what? Let's start again. First thing, let's take a little stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Hey, Malka, I need some tea. Let's. I got a haircut today. Okay. Hey, babe, can I ask for some more tea, my darling, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm out of tea. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been going for an hour and a half now. I need that. There's the Yishai Fleischer mug. There it is. And you can get that at our YouTube channel. We have a great store that Malka mans or womans. Okay. And I want to ask for, can we please get a super chat here? Can we get a super chat going? I want to see if there's any super chats. Well, first we have this super chat. Breaking news, Roseanne Barr has returned to her podcast after a 3-month hiatus and has announced that she might be interested in debating Nick Fuentes. Okay, well, that is exciting. Thank you very much for your support, Ashkenazi Zionist. I'm surprised that Mike did not know that when we refer to Amalek, it's shorthand for any enemy dedicated to our destruction, from Haman to Nazis. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get to the Tucker questions, and thank you very much, Abraham, for your support. And I'm very excited about Abraham's question that goes like this, which is curious how you answer Tucker's question regarding from the river Nile to the river Euphrates, and how come Israel's only from the Jordan? The answer to that is that, and that's one of the Tucker questions. The answer to that is rather simple. First thing is the covenant between the parts that speaks about all the way to the Euphrates is to the seed of Abram. Seed of Abraham is also other nations. So meaning to say people that came from Abraham, it's the Abrahamic region. And also when he says it's going to be yours, it doesn't just mean Israel. It's going to mean that the region is going to be an Abrahamic region that's lit up, that is godly, that is alive, that has these holy places. And so that the answer to that is so simple. And if Israel does ever one day take over Jordan, take over Iraq, it'll take over places that are totally failed. So if Israel includes the Sinai, right? It doesn't include Egypt from the Nile, right? It's like the Nile going to the northeast, Sinai and Israel and Jordan and Iraq. Well, who's going to be upset about that? I mean, these are completely failed states. And we're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so let me start an intro. Yo, are we ready for this? Are you ready for us to do a Tucker thing? Are you guys ready out there for us to go through the Tucker thing?
It's true, but it's funny. Somebody just called you a chicken in the chat, which I just thought was funny.
Well,
he said, he said you should talk to him face to face in an interview, you effing Zionist chicken. Sorry, I just thought
I'm an effing Zionist chicken.
That was funny.
Yeah, this reminds me. He reminds me of one of my favorite lines of all movies. It's in the one of the great movies, which is Kung Fu Panda, and in the end, the big evil character says to Po, he says, "You're just a big fat panda," and Po answers, "I'm not just a big fat panda. I'm the big fat panda." Okay, so I'm not a effing Zionist chicken. I'm the effing Zionist chicken. Okay. You could take this comment off, yo. Thank you very much. I'll be very happy to face Tucker. It would be a dream come true. Tucker, come in, just let me on your show, or do you want to come on my show? I'm happy to do it. But in the absence of that, and I have not yet. I've been on a few times on Piers Morgan, but I haven't been on Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan. And I'd really like to. If you guys have contacts there, that would be great. So let's start this from the start. We'll have some fun with this. All right. Tucker Carlson and former governor, now ambassador Mike Huckabee had it out. What happened was that they were fighting on Twitter. And then Huckabee said, "Why are we fighting on Twitter? Why don't you come and actually interview me?" And Tucker was like, "Okay." And then they did this whole thing where Tucker landed just in the Israeli airport, did not leave, was there for a few hours, made all kinds of ridiculous claims of abuse, all of been of which denied or disproven. And he did this interview with Huckabee. Huckabee was a consummate gentleman, spoke with softly, did not pick a fight with Tucker, and his responses were quality, were intellectual, but we're also muted and conversational, as opposed to what Tucker was doing, which was baiting, using questions as actually a form of putting in fake so-called facts, and really his whole goal was obviously to besmirch Israel. And so Tucker, sadly, in my opinion, was able to do just that. He was able to besmirch Israel in the time that he had. Huckabee wanted to share with him faith and history and the beauty of Israel, but Tucker used the conversation to not be a conversation, but to be a battering ram, a rope-a-dope to try to just stick in all these anti-Israel lies and anti-Israel hate and propaganda. Thank you very much. And he managed to do that into his platform. So I'm not on his platform. I have not yet gotten an invitation to his platform. I'd be happy to. And maybe I'm going to be giving away my cards, but I'm not afraid of that. Tucker is more than anything a verbal player, a master of intonalities, changes in tone, lies and then pulling back, saying awful things, then saying I'm not, but I don't. It's a way. It's, for me, as a debater, it's see-through. I see it exactly what he's doing, and it's not attractive. I find his speech pattern to be fake and a little wacky, and nothing but a game. It's a game. It's a psychological manipulation. But at the same time, there's no doubt, and this goes to my general philosophy, that he's good at it, and that he is talented, and that he clearly, and he's professional, and he clearly, and I wish I was as professional as him, and he clearly has a great following, and he's tapped in. That makes him a very serious enemy of Israel, one of Israel's most serious enemies on the narrative war theater of anti-Israelism. I only hope that this upcoming war will show the strength of Israel and will bat down people like him, and that his voice will be insignificant in the future. Today, it is significant. What we're going to do now is we're going to watch some of the questions, and I'll try to answer some of them the way I would have answered had I been asked a question. Some of it we'll skip. We'll see. But let's have some fun and listen to the Tucker. I asked one of my editors, Amir, to edit down the questions. I haven't even looked at the questions too much, but of course I did watch the initial interview. But let's have some fun and watch Tucker and deal with his accusations.
Everyone I've talked to in preparation for this has said the same thing. Jonathan Pollard. I'm just going to throw the name to you and have you explain. There have been.
Okay, so what happened was that Ambassador Huckabee invited Jonathan Pollard, a former U.S. Naval Intelligence officer, to meet with him at the embassy. Tucker made a big deal out of this. Now, what Tucker did is he said that Jonathan Pollard was one of the worst criminals who endangered, the worst spies against the United States who endangered the U.S. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. And the former head of the CIA basically said so. He said, he brought no danger to America. He basically, what Jonathan Pollard did was he took secrets that America was supposed to give Israel for its defense and passed it to Israel. That's what happened. Jonathan Pollard should have sat for 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years. He sat for 30 years, in prison. More than his share time because of anti-Semitism, because of people like Caspar Weinberger. Jonathan Pollard is a hero. Jonathan Pollard may have done a criminal act against the United States, but it was in the United States' interest to defend the state of Israel. That was the agreement, and he's a hero for Israel. He may have done a crime in the United States, and he sat and he paid for his crime, okay? And I don't think he would deny that he did something that the United States did not want him to do that's a criminal act in America, passing information. He did not do espionage. He passed information because he was in a sensitive place. And in terms of Israel, he is a Jewish hero. Yes, he tried to defend the Jewish people from harm. He saved Jewish lives. And I'm proud to call Jonathan Pollard a friend, and I'm proud to defend him. And Tucker Carlson is putting huge, he's sending all kinds of, names, calling him dangerous. He did not lead like Aldous Ames led to 100 murdered U.S. When he gave away information to the Soviets, right? This spy that just recently died, he led to 100 assets being killed by the Soviets. Actually, it was 100 discovered, and a large amount of them, I forgot, maybe it was 30, were actually killed, executed. Jonathan Pollard did not do that. He just defended Jewish lives, Israeli lives, and probably American lives as well. That's all there is to that. And I would say, Tucker, you're lying, you're exaggerating, and the only reason that you're doing this is in order to try to besmirch Israel, because that's your whole goal. Mike Huckabee should be proud that he hosted Jonathan Pollard in his offices, because Pollard is a hero, I think an American hero as well.
Americans in prison in Israel, there have also been, and there continue to be, dozens and dozens and dozens of sex offenders.
There are not dozens and dozens and dozens of sex offenders. This whole thing is an exaggeration. It's the new blood libel, Tucker. You're a blood libeler. Yes, there are some sex offenders who have been moved around, who have been extradited to Israel to face charges here, and the other way around. I'm not even going to bother getting into this question too much, okay? The Israeli legal system, the American legal system have a relationship, and I trust that they're doing a good job vis-a-vis these offenders.
Two sex offenders from the United States who fled to Israel, including one recently, an Israeli government official who was caught.
People who are United States and America have a very serious legal relationship, and we extradite either way when we deal with serious criminals, period. We're done with that question, Tucker.
Trying to molest a 15-year-old girl.
You're just saying that because you want to besmirch Israel. That's all you want to do. You want to take a little case, and you want a case that hurts somebody, if indeed it's true, because he's a serial liar. But you're using your moment to talk with an ambassador of the United States to Israel to talk about one criminal case, which is being dealt with just fine by the authorities.
And fled to Israel and is not going back to the United States to stand charges for attempted molestation of
Are
a
you
child.
done yet? Are you done yet?
Have you advocated for the Israeli government to return him to the United States? Why are
The United States government and Israel have an excellent relationship. Next question.
millions of Epstein files still classified?
Now he gets in this whole Epstein question, right? As though Mike Huckabee's like, I don't know anything about Epstein. He's like, what about these Epstein files? He's like, you have a relationship with the American government. You're talking about an American government thing. This has nothing to do with Israel. But why does Tucker do this? Why? Whoa, extreme close-up, extreme close-up. Ah, extreme close-up. Oh, no. Hold on. Let's fix the extreme close-up. Oh, no. Okay, we're relieved. Okay, so why did Tucker have this thing about, I got to turn that setting off. Why does Tucker talk about Epstein all the time? Because he wants to connect Epstein to Israel, and we're all pedophiles, because in his mind, he's trying to create a narrative that Israel is the pedophile nation, not the startup nation, not the liberation nation, not the Abrahamic nation, but the pedophile nation. And it's all Tucker's a narrative war against Israel, the classic blood libel. Israel and Epstein. Oh, and by the way, he goes, the president of Israel was on Pedo Island. Later, he walked that back, but it doesn't matter because he knows that wasn't true. And the president of Israel wrote a long letter to Tucker. Tucker's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I said that. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want, innocent people to be besmirched, but he already did that and the video's out and he didn't edit that out. Right. So bottom line is that this is a whole narrative that Israel is a pedo country. It's all crap. And if I'm sitting across from Tucker, I'm like, Tucker, are you trying to say that Israel is a pedophile country? That's what you're trying to besmirch the good name of Israel. I want you to understand right now, as I look at this ugly mug of Tucker, I see Goliath. Here's a man who is spitting on the God of Israel and the people of Israel, and he needs to be taken down.
Why do you think that is?
I have no.
I want to get to as I said at the outset, I said something awful that I regret that my wife barked at me about. I lashed.
You see these tricks that he uses. It's he has a few verbal tricks. This one is self-depreciation. I got yelled at by my wife. Later on, he says, I don't have it's a low IQ. It's a trick. It's a trick. We know that you're against Christian Zionists because you hate them. You said you hate them. Now you're walking it back. I did a sin. But your line of question is exactly the same. Your fakely safe self-depreciation is see-through. That's what I would say to him right to his face. I'm like, I could see right through your little trick. I know you still hate Christian Zionists. Okay? So don't be like, I feel sorry about what I said, but actually here's the same line of questioning. Watch this.
Out at Christian Zionists and evangelicals, and I just want to say again that I'm sorry.
You're full of bull.
I've always liked them because they're pro-life and they're also really nice people. So
roll the eyes. I'm telling you, I would just roll my eyes. I'm like, Tucker, you didn't always like them. You said you hate them because you hate what they stand for. And yeah, there are things you agree on because you're conservative, supposedly, but you hate pro-Israel people. You hate pro-Israel Christian Zionists. And you're going to go on a whole litany of questions against that. We know that. So just say it, be honest, you lying piece of blank.
For the third time, I'm sorry that I said that. I think part of my problem was I don't understand the theology.
I don't understand the theology. I don't understand. It's true. You really don't understand the theology because you're not a theological person. You're a sellout to China, Qatar, whoever it is. You're an anti-Semite. You don't understand the theology. But look at his face. You see that face? Like, I don't understand the theology. He's not going to let the other side even get a word in to explain calmly simple theology. He's not going to follow it. But we'll help him understand, Tucker.
And you are not a fake Baptist minister. You're an actual minister. You had a church for many years.
I'm a Jewish rabbi, okay?
Actual theologian. So, and I mean this with sincerity.
You don't mean anything with sincerity. You don't mean anything with sincerity. This whole thing is a play.
I hear people say those who bless Israel will be blessed. I know it's a reference to Genesis.
You know what annoys me? He doesn't even know that. Do you know how many phrases there are in the Bible that say that the nations of the world will be blessed by Israel? So many more than just Genesis. It's all over the Bible. But this toad, he like memorized one number. You see, because he's not using a card. He memorized one thing. He doesn't remember that it was also told to Jacob that all the nations of the earth will be blessed by you. And then again in the book of Isaiah, in the book of Jeremiah, in the book of in all the really in so many of the books of the Bible, Ezekiel, there's so many references that the world will be blessed by Israel. But he remembers because you know his handlers helped him memorize one quote. Okay.
I don't understand the connection between that concept and modern Israel and the geopolitical world. And
You're a toad. What don't you understand? What don't you understand? I don't understand. You mean you reject? So say it. Say I reject it. But you do understand. It's very simple. If you bless Israel back then, you will be blessed. That same Israel today is Israel. What's the problem? Well, I don't understand, and I know that you're a Baptist preacher, and I just explained that to me. It's simple, buddy boy. Israel, the thing that you see today called Israel, is the Israel that existed 2,000 years ago and 3,000 years ago. And those people that bless Israel and stand with Israel are blessed by God. And those people who are enemies of Israel are cursed by God, are hated by God, because the truth is that people who hate Israel hate the God of Israel. And it's very simple theology. Oh, I don't quite understand it. Can you explain it to me? You don't mean explain it to me. You don't mean it sincerely. What you mean is, I want to poke holes in it. Okay, go ahead and try.
So my question is very simple. I'm going to wait patiently for an answer. Does this right derive from religious affiliation or from genetics?
The Jewish people are a peoplehood. We are one of the most peoplehoods. What do I mean by that? Like the Irish people are a very peoplehood, right? Because they are sitting in the same place. The Chinese people are very peoplehood because they are sitting in the same place, and they're having their babies, and they have their look, and they have their ethnicity in the same place for thousands of years. Respect, great respect. The Jewish people are a peoples, right? Are an ethnic group, because we have tradition of only marrying Jewish people, of having a Jewish mom. Having a Jewish mom makes a Jewish kid. We have kept our genetics, our bloodlines as pure as possible. Baruch Hashem, we all thank God. We also have converts, but they are brought in. They're brought into the Jewish peoplehood. The Jewish peoplehood, and this is such a simple question, and it's like amazing that we have to explain this to you, is as an ethnic group and ethnicity with a religious obligation on top of it. It's a peoplehood with a religious obligation. I know it's hard because Christians are not one ethnicity and they don't have exactly one obligation. There are 45,000 denominations of Christians, but understand that in the Jewish people, we have an ethnicity, and that ethnicity has religious obligations. There are other people like that as well, by the way. The Druze, for example. There must be others. I just don't know them. But the Druze are an ethnic group that have a religious obligation. What is hard to understand about that?
Who has a right to the land?
The Jewish people have a right to the land because, and here I would help anybody who doesn't know, there are basically 5 rights, 5 ways that we derive rights to the land of Israel. One is, we are the indigenous people. We have indigeneity. We are the longest group that has had here states, a national capital, borders, a temple. We've had it 2 times before. We are the indigenous people. Now this is the 3rd time. So it's indigenous rights. And that's proved by archaeology. We also have rights granted to us by the international community recognizing those indigenous rights. Then we have war rights. Oh, and if you want to know about the international law rights, they derive from the recognition of the Jewish people as indigenous peoplehood, 1917 Balfour Declaration, 1920 San Remo Accords, 1922 League of Nations, and there are others. Okay, so international law recognized, not granted, recognized our indigeneity. So that's 2. 3, we have war rights. We won the land of Israel in wars that we defended against aggressors, and that grants you rights. And then we, of course, have purchase rights. We've purchased much of the land of Israel. That's 4, right? And the 5th one is beautification. We took a land that was desolate and we revivified it and beautified it. Those are 5 sources of rights of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, okay? And of course, there's a 6th one, which is which is religious rights, godly rights. But the godly rights, I can explain the rights of the Jewish people to the land of Israel throughout all those parameters, right? Indigeneity, war, purchase, beautification, war, what do you call it? Archaeology, all these international law rights, and of course, godly rights as well. And I would just stop and be like, here are the 6 reasons why Jewish people have a right to the land of Israel, if you're wondering. Not, and there's a 7th right. You know what the 7th right is? I just kind of, it clarified it in my head just now, which is, the 7th right is, I don't have to explain to you the rights of the Jewish people, land of Israel. I don't got to tell you. I don't got to justify myself to you, Tucker. Okay. I don't need to prove to you. You don't get it. Don't get it. Go deal with other issues. There are many other people fighting for their rights, for their indigenous rights to a land or for other ways, Somaliland, etc. A lot of people are fighting. You don't get it? I don't care. You don't have to get it. I don't have to. That's the 7th right, which is I don't have to explain it to you. That's what Zionism is about. I don't need to go and tell this kind of Gentile that hates me why I have rights to the land of Israel. You get it? Good. Don't get it? Forget it. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can kiss my mezuzah. I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't need to prove myself to you. I don't need you to be like the Jewish people have a right to the land of Israel. You don't think so? Go to hell. See if I care. Okay, I'm here on the land. I got my rights. I know my rights. I fought for my rights. And I don't need to prove it to you, Tucker. Let's keep going.
Yeah. And you said it's a mixture of religion and ethnicity. Because as I noted, and you agree, many of the founders, maybe the majority of the founders of modern Israel, did not believe in God at all. So they were not religious Jews.
We have a grouping. They believed in the Bible, period. We have an ethnic group. It's our land. It's our historic homeland. Don't you be telling me if they were religious, not religious. You don't understand the motivations of a Ben Gurion. You don't understand that he loved the Bible. And I don't need to explain it to you what his religious affiliation is or not.
They weren't religious at all. They were atheists. They said they were atheists. I believe them.
Who said that he was an atheist? Who said that he was an atheist? He wasn't an Orthodox Jew. Who said, do you think that Herzl was an atheist? He certainly was not. And Ben Gurion was not an atheist, and he loved the Bible. But again, I don't need to prove to you our religious affiliation. It's not interesting to me to prove it to you what exactly our religious thinking is about this land.
So that suggests it's ethnic. But it's also true, as you well know, because there's a famous court case about this, that ethnic Jews who convert to Christianity do not have the right of return. That was settled by the Israeli Supreme Court. I'm very confused. So that would suggest it's not ethnicity, because you invalidate your Jewishness by converting to Christianity?
I just want to say that I don't know about that court case, and it's really not important to me. There are very few Jews that turn to Christianity, and it really doesn't even matter. You know, there are many Jewish people who are Christian who live in Israel. He's full of crap. There are whole communities that I'm not so supportive of. Meaning to say, I don't love the fact that there's Jews that become Christian, but the fact is there are. So he's full of crap. I don't know how Huckabee answered that, but I would just be like, there's whole neighborhoods of Israeli citizens. There are commanders in the army that are Christian Jews. I am not in favor of that. That's not my thing. I don't like that. I don't like that. That doesn't mean I invalidate that. They're Israelis. They believe in Christianity. That's too bad for them, in my opinion, but it doesn't matter. That line of questioning is, again, bogus. This guy is a liar left and right, and you have to be prepared to say to his face, you're a liar, Tucker. You're full of it, okay? I could invalidate your lies in just one fell swoop. I know many Christian Jews who are big shots in the army. They're very much full Israeli citizenship. Don't tell me there's a Supreme Court that invalidated. And again, you don't understand what the mixture is, the admixture of being a Jew is. Well, you know what? Like, you're a toad, because Jews have been around for 3,500 years. And you, Tucker, your waspy Tuckerness, if you don't understand what a Jew is, well, you're a dodo head. Go back to school and study. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. Who asked you how we give citizenship to our people? Who cares what you think about how we give citizenship to our people? Who wants to even know that? Are you going to go to Italy and ask them how exactly you define an ethnic Italian and all that? Just who are you? As we say in Hebrew, miata, who are you to even ask me these things? It's not your business, and you don't understand it because you're a toad, okay? Really, because you're an anti-Semite.
There were a fair amount of Christians in Gaza, and some of them have been killed. Were you bothered by that?
Okay, so here's the Jews abuse Christians, and here Huckabee did a great job of being like, no, actually, there are more Christians in the land of Israel than anywhere else around here, and this is the only place that they're protected. And as our guest Mansour Ashkar said before, like Tucker finds these people who are finally willing to give the abuse narrative, and he platforms them. But the fact is, it's just not like that. It's just not like that. It's the jihad that wants to destroy America and that wants to destroy Christians here, including Arab Christians, and Israel protects them. Again, I don't want to get into this whole thing like Israel is some kind of like haven for Christianity. It's not. It's the Jewish state. But is there Christians here? Do I have friends who are Christians here? Do they live unabused, unmolested, and protected? Of course they do. This whole thing is just a bogus line of questioning, and there's two words that can answer what this thing is. It's called blood libel. He's a blood libeler. Jews abuse Christians. He's just one step away from saying, and it's not even one step away. He's one step away of like, oh yeah, Jews kill Christian babies and use them as matzah. He's just one step more sophisticated than that, but that's his whole thing. And that's why he's also successful, because he ties in to this very ancient line of some kind of demented anti-Semitic thinking. That's what he's doing. And then he's like, I'm not against Israel. I'm not against Israel. I mean, come on, I'm not against Israel. I'm just, they just kill Christians. I mean, come on. I mean, they are the most militant and evil country. I mean, come on. And, it's the most security state. This guy is a nutball. Okay. He's a nutball. He just says, Israel's pedophiles. Israel's a murderous state. And Netanyahu's out to kill me. And he molested me in a demon dream. The guy is He is Turkamata, this guy, okay? He's just like a reborn Turkamata. He gets all upset that somebody called him an Amalekite, if he did or didn't. He's not an Amalekite. He's just like a blood libeler, okay? That's what he is. He's a blood libeler. He's a professional blood libeler. And I'm willing to, and if Tucker ever asked me, like, did you call me a blood libeler? I'll be like, yes, you are a blood libeler.
The fact that the IDF hit Christians, I would expect you to
roll my eyes, really roll my eyes. We are fighting against jihad. That's all there is to it. We're fighting in Gaza against our enemies. Sometimes they're collateral damage. Israel protects Christians. Israel protects non-combatants, period.
side with the Christians over the secular government.
By the way, saying period and saying I'm not willing to answer your stupid questions anymore, and you're just using your questions to fill the air with your lies, it's a very important tactic in debate. Just be like, no, I'm not going to answer your questions anymore. I'm not going there with you because you're full of lies.
Of Israel.
I'm criticizing my own country,
they did a better job than the U.S. military in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I said, what are the numbers? And you said, I don't know. So on what basis are you?
Studies show that Israel is much more careful with non-combatants, and we have a ratio of 10 to 1, 10 combatants to a 1 non-combatant getting killed in the field of action. It's been well studied. The U.S. Army is interested in studying how we manage so much to not hurt non-combatants, period.
Are you making the claim that the IDF in Gaza spared more civilians than the U.S. Army and Marine Corps did in Afghanistan and Iraq? Why?
That's true. It's a fact. Look up the numbers. Leave the ambassador alone. He's not necessarily a numbers guy about how armies fight. He's here to represent President Trump in the United States, in Israel, from the United States to Israel. That's all there is to it. Your line of questioning has been studied. It's easy to debunk. We all know that Israel is careful with non-combatants. And even if we weren't, so what? So what? So what's your point? We're careful with non-combatants. We're not careful. Maybe we're a crazy country killing all non-combatants. So what? What does that have to do with our legitimacy? Who are you to pass judgment on us? Who are you to even ask this line of questioning? What does it even matter to me? What, I have to prove to you that I'm moral? I don't have to prove to you my morality in war. I do it for myself, not for you, Tucker.
Are you saying that? Like, on what basis are you saying that? We're about to have one with Iran, it looks like. How many Americans do you think will die in that war?
The Iranians have killed thousands of Americans in various ways, okay? They are behind terrorism against America and against the world, and certainly the tens of thousands of people that were just murdered in the streets. They just gave the middle finger to President Trump. They support China. They support China with their oil and their gas. We all know that they are a combatant, evil, against the United States and against liberty in this world. Tucker Carlson, the conservative, is pro not allowing Americans to be hurt in this upcoming war. You've got to destroy evil if you're going to be a superpower, Tucker. And I don't understand what your line of questioning is. What does that even have to do with the ambassador? Why don't you ask that of the president? Is the ambassador of the United States supposed to answer how many people are going to be killed in the war? Come on.
How many times have we put soldiers on the ground for Israel?
Well, we had the Iraq War, which was for Israel.
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
it's
for Israel.
How is it for us? Why are 9/11 documents still classified?
Why are you asking about 9/11 documents? Why don't you ask your own government? What do you want from this interview? This interview is supposed to be about Israel. What does it do? Everything is because everything is this nefarious affair. 9/11 documents, Epstein documents, pedophiles. There's all this conniving, big, crooked Junos thing. That's what this thing is about. That's what Tucker is about. He's a blood libel par excellence. Now Israel's behind the 9/11. Why haven't 9/11 documents? Because our country worships Israel. And so they're hiding because really the Israelis, I mean, I'm not saying because I wouldn't say that because, you know, because I wouldn't say that they are, but they aren't. I mean, I wouldn't never say such a thing about, but why aren't there 9/11 documents released? Aren't Israelis behind it? It's all just a psychological wordplay. Do you see how he plays this thing? It's amazing.
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, now prime minister, of course, exerted lots of pressure openly on the U.S. government to regime change the Saddam government. I was there. It was in.
The U.S. government made I don't think you remember that the Bushes had a big fight with Saddam Hussein. Do you remember that? It was like Bush v. Saddam. Do you remember that? And what does that have to do with anything anyway?
Washington. And
anyway, what is this big influence? Israel's a tiny little country. It says it's peace. It wants to get rid of its enemies. And that's all there is to it. But what Tucker means in this whole thing is that Israel has outsized influence. Outsized, and he never talks about his sponsors having outsized influence. The Qataris, maybe the Chinese. We know that he's buddy with Qatar. We know that, right? I mean, speaking of a small Middle East country that has outsized influence, who pays more money to lobbyists, to universities? You know what? I'll play a video about that. I mean, this guy fixates on Israel and lies about his sponsors, which is Qatar, maybe China even.
And they complied.
Okay.
I think the Israeli government strongly pushed the United States to take out Saddam Hussein. Well, there's no question about that. I think
there's no question about that. I mean, later on when I say things, it's actually recanted and like, really like, I would never, but I do. There's no question about it. You know what? Why don't you just shut it? Okay. This was 30 years ago, this war. I don't know where you were, where you were not. America had a problem with Iraq. They were facing each other. They thought there was weapons of mass destruction. What does that have to do with anything anyway?
The Israeli government right now on Bibi Netanyahu, who's been in the White House 7 times in 1 year, pushing for regime change in Iran. I think they're on the verge of convincing this administration to, why do you think of?
Yes. Israel wants regime change in Iran. Yes, that's its interest. America probably has very similar aligned interests. Do you really think that President Trump is going to get pushed around by anybody like Netanyahu? Is that what you're saying? I don't believe that for 1 second.
Foreign leader was in the White House 7 times in 1 year. Are you okay with that?
I mean, you've visited Qatar and you're being paid by Qatar. Are you okay with that? What does that have to do with anything? I don't even understand this line of questioning. They have a relationship. Israel is the aircraft carrier for American values. Not that I even love that phraseology, but that's the way people understand things. Okay, Israel is the forward defense against jihadism. That's without a doubt. Israel is boots on the ground, pilots in the air, rockets firing country. You don't have another country like that. Okay, Israel is the regional hegemon that keeps this place, the lid on the pot on this place before it turns into a jihadi Middle East or a jihadi Europe. Israel pushes back on that. What's the problem? We have an alliance. What's wrong with an alliance, Tucker? What's wrong with an alliance between Israel and the United States in terms of security? Okay, what exactly are you trying to suggest here? What's wrong with leaders being aligned? What's wrong with that? He's like, well, Netanyahu's visited the White House 7 times. Yeah. What of it? It's a business and security understanding. What of it? What are you trying to, what's the negative thing here? What exactly are you, what is the question that you're asking? They can't have alignment on a hot issue, a hot region. What's wrong with that? So it's unclear to me what you're asking. Actually, it is clear to me because I know exactly what you're trying to do. Again, you're trying to besmirch Israel, saying, "Ooh, you see the levers of control. The Jews are conniving, tricky, controlling. In the meantime, he works for Qatar. You understand that? You understand what this guy is?"
Israel's nuclear weapons were created, of course, with nuclear material stolen from the United States.
Who is this guy? Really? Stolen from the United States? Let me just remember who developed nuclear weapons. Oh, it was Jewish scientists at Los Alamos. Remember the Oppenheimer, Einstein, the theory of relativity. Like, we helped create that, and then we had our Jewish state, and the French helped us create the first nuclear reactor. We didn't steal nothing, baby. What is this talk? You see that? We stole nuclear weapons. Jews created the nuclear weapons for the United States. A thank you would be okay as well, by the way. Okay, a thank you would be okay. But no, Tucker Carlson, the Jews stole the nuclear weapons. The Jews stole the nuclear weapons. The chutzpah of this chutzpah face. Look at this chutzpah face. Look at this chutzpah face. Look. You stole nuclear weapons. Zip it, liar.
From a nuclear plant in Pennsylvania, as I know you know. I'm opposed to all of it.
Of course, I'm opposed to it. I'm opposed to anti-Semitism. I just, promulgate anti-Semitism.
I don't like nuclear weapons. It's mass murder, as far as I'm concerned. The question is, what are the potential costs? And you have to factor that into any decision. I'm merely saying that over, say, the last 20 years, America's not gotten richer or freer at all. And I come to Israel and the infrastructure, we were flying in, and I said to my buddy, I was like, man, first of all, looks great. I love the agriculture in Israel because it's just beautiful. I love green. I love plants.
I remember when it didn't look like.
He tries to pawn himself up as a human being, and then he gives. If you watch his video, all his ads are like, "This beef is just beef, 100% beef." Have this whatever, like this this shake, and the shake is only 3 ingredients. Like, he's Mr. Wholesome guy. I love green. It's such a painted on veneer of like this healthy guy. If you want organic, there's nothing more organic than Israel. Israel is organic, by the way. Israel itself, the issue of Israel is the most organic thing in this world. In general, I don't want to get into that now. But what's his point? That Israel looks good? Well, Baruch Hashem. What, America had a hand in helping Israel look good? You should be like, I can't believe America had the schut, the merit, to help Israel flourish. Isn't that amazing? What a blessing it's been to us. We have blessed Israel, and it has blessed us back. And with regarding to the last 20 years, you, Tucker, and your handlers and your owners are single-handedly responsible. No, not single-handedly, but amongst our responsible parties of erosion in the United States. Okay, it's people like you who are anti-God, anti-truth, anti-values, fake veneer, or willing to sell out their country. You are the true sellout. And I wish to God that somebody would uncover your true selloutness, okay, and expose you for what you are.
That.
Yeah.
First time I came in 53 years ago.
It's great.
It did not look like that.
Great. Looks a lot nicer than our country. And it has.
What kind of crap is that? Have you visited America recently? I mean, Tucker, like Mr. Oh, this is grown in Arizona. What are you talking about? You fly over America. America looks amazing. God bless America. What are we talking about here? Now you see where this guy's going. America looks bad at the cost of Israel looking good. Who said this in the Bible? Pop quiz. It's Laban. He's like, look, all that richness came from our father. This guy is Lavan. He's Laban. Do you see that? All the richness came from our father. Right? Remember, Laban was blessed by Jacob. But the fact that Jacob was there, Laban became very wealthy. But then he's like, look, Jacob is wealthy, and I think he took everything from us. That is Laban talk, okay? This is Laban's Ram right there, okay? He's talking Laban talk, okay? Do you see that? Do you see what a biblical evil he is espousing right now? Look, Israel's rich, but our country's not rich. America's not rich. That's rich, okay.
Higher standard of living. It has nicer roads than the United States. And so it's like, okay, Why are we sending all this money to a country that has a higher standard of living than ours?
We're not sending any money to Israel. We have joint defense development. Israel helps us develop munitions, rockets, technology for our jets. Israel is a machine to help us become a stronger nation. Always has. If you go through the story of America, the Jews have been at the forefront of development of American economics, of every part of American success. The Jews have been a part of it. To impute that Israel somehow damaged the United States and has become rich off the United States is just plain BS. And the money that America sends, $3 billion, it sends a lot more money around the world than the $3 billion that it sends Israel. It all comes back to America tenfold. We've covered this on the show many times with Yoram Ettinger and others. But again, you stole the money from me. I'm Laban. I'm Lavan. Look, Jacob has become richer, and I'm jealous, and I hate the Jews.
I don't know that they have a higher standard of living.
They do, actually. They have free health care. They also have free abortion. Are you okay with that? Why would we send any money to a country that provides free abortion? Okay, so what percentage of...
Do you see that? Now it's an abortion country. We have a very low abortion rate, Baruch Hashem. We actually have a very high birth rate. And this is a very family-friendly country. What does that have to do anything? If like America sends money to Saudi Arabia, are these asking about Saudi Arabian morals? It's not about that. America has a financial relationship with Israel for its own interest, not because it thinks that Israel is perfectly moral on every issue. That's not the issue at all. It's not. What does it have to do with anything? But if you're trying to say that Israel is an unchristian country, okay, that has abortion, that has pedophilia, and is stealing our money and controlling our country, that's the narrative that he's trying to weave, and he's doing it successfully. That's what's so sick about it. Okay, this Laban, this Bilam, this Bilam of a talker, using his sweet talking and his trickiness to spread hate. And sadly, it's partially successful. I hope that our little tirade today is erasing just 1% of that success.
Americans support a war with Iran. But Israel had no influence on our decision to invade Iraq. That's not what the people who made the decision say.
We already talked
Everybody
about
who served in Iraq put their boots on the ground for Israel.
Did not.
Next.
Where did we get the information about the weapons of mass destruction that wasn't real?
I didn't get that from...
Bibi's doing what he can for his country, whether you agree with him or not. I want my leaders to do the same for my country. That's it. How many journalists has Israel killed in Gaza?
Israel has killed terrorists dressed as journalists, quite a few. Journalism is oftentimes very linked up to terrorism. This guy, Tucker, he's a journalist. Okay? And what is he? Nothing but a anti-Israel, jihad cover-up, and really undermining the United States of America. This man is undermining the health of the United States of America. He's bringing a curse upon America. He's lying to the youth. He's making them more susceptible to backing jihadism, Palestinianism, et cetera, et cetera. He is a danger. And he is a jihadi, an anti-Israel guy dressed in the suit of the press. Okay? I'm not saying that we should have any physical contact with him, but certainly we should all of us work towards shrinking his volume, his message. His corruption should be uncovered. His corruption must be uncovered. His hate should be exposed and laid bare to everybody. And his destructive powers, his destructive impact on the United States should be understood.
Over 200.
200 jihadis dressed as press.
I spoke to someone recently, a Christian minister who grew up in a town right outside Bethlehem. We would know it as Shepherd's Field in the New Testament, where the shepherds were tending their flocks in Matthew. And of course, the angels come and announce the arrival of Jesus in nearby Bethlehem. His family's been Christian, he says, for 2,000 years. He says where he grew up is now surrounded by settlements of people who are not from Israel at all. A lot of them are from the United States, Jewish settlements. They have different roads that the native Christians are not allowed to use. I don't quite know how that works. And he described a story where his mother was shot outside their house by an IDF soldier for reasons no one ever explained.
Hit blood libel moment. Dun-dun-dun. This guy told me that his mom was shot. Nobody understood why. Because that's what Jews do. They randomly shoot Christians, says the blood libeler, right? First thing is, let me explain to you, there are Christians in Bethlehem. They have been decimated by the jihadist Palestinian Authority, okay? The numbers over the years, it used to be 80% Christian. Now it's like 8% Christian. Why? That's what decimation means, right? It's made a tenth of. Why? Because the jihad hates the Christian Arabs, despises the Christian Arabs, okay? But this guy finds, and where are they safe? Like in Beit Jala, close by here, where are they safe? Under Israeli control. They beg us all the time to get out of the PA and into Israel. Why? Because Israel protects its subjects, its people, its governed peoples, okay? But the jihadis, who do they kill? They kill the Christians, or they push them out. But a lot of times, when you interview them, they have to say the party line so that when they go back home, they don't get attacked by that very same jihad. Okay. But the narrative, the blood libel goes on. This guy, look at his face. He's a professional blood libeler. He's a Turkamada. He is a man using his verbal abilities to besmirch Israel. Remember what David said about Goliath? He says, "You come to besmirch the name of the God of Israel and the people of Israel, and I'm coming to feed your body to the birds." Okay, and this guy's for the birds. All right, he is dangerous and he's full of lies. I'm sure there's many smart articles about all the very lies that he has promulgated in this interview. Let's let him finish his lying yapping.
And she survived, but no one was ever punished for it or even explained.
No. We just killed. IDF just killed. They shoot a mom. That's just what they do. I mean, it's never been explained. I don't have the names of the person. It's not been verified, and I'm. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call anybody, like a Jew bag murderer, bloodsucker who controls everything. I mean, I'm not anti-Semite. I mean, I'm pro-Israel, but I mean, they kill people randomly. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, everybody knows it.
And why they did it. He basically described being terrorized by settlers. And I wonder if that's a concern for you.
Okay. Well, we are done with all of the various questions that Tucker Carlson put to Ambassador Huckabee. Ambassador Huckabee did a great job answering in a very gentlemanly fashion, in a very calm and intellectual fashion. And I gave it a little bit more juice as a Jew who is offended by the lies and the blood libel and the hate and the besmirching of this beautiful state of Israel, which is, in fact, a country that is a light to this region, that is the liberation nation that could bring decency, justice, clean water, clean health, education. That is what Israel is. It is a light, and Jerusalem is a light. And Tucker Carlson's trying to put that light out. And Bezrat Hashem, we have to pray to God that his voice gets muffled and stifled and quieted and suppressed and exposed for what it really is. Baruch Hashem, thank you very much for letting me vent. In fact, my wife said to me, Malka, she said, do a show where you get to yell a little bit because you are ticked off. I was ticked off. I woke up this morning, it was like 5 a.m. I'm like, damn, Tucker, full of his lies. And I'm glad that I got a chance to let it out with you. God bless you. All right, let's see. Yishai, deep breath. You are a Jewish man. The lives in Israel are part of the people that gave all of us the Bible. Thank you. Tucker is a Catholic, and he's jealous that the Bible wasn't given to the Pope as they wished. You know what? I don't think he's a Catholic. I've got Catholic friends. Pope John Paul II was a Catholic. Okay, this is not Catholicism. This is medievalism. Medievalism. That's what he is. He's a medieval blood libeler. That's the line that he's a crusader. He's a Jew hater, an Israel hater. And maybe he's not even inside a Jew hater, but he's being paid to do that. But that is the role that he's playing now. All right, friends, we've been on together for 2 hours and 13 minutes. I haven't seen the comments in the last little bit. Let's put up, I see here, my good friend Enoch says his name is like not Tucker, but it's Takia henceforth, right? Like jihadist lying systems. That's a good one. That's very cute. Listen, folks, I want to really, Malka Fleischer was wonderful in the Women of Valor meeting today. That's excellent. Baruch Hashem. She was on a different. We were broadcasting at the same time. Thank God we have the bandwidth, literally and figuratively. All right, my dear friends, I want to bless you and thank you. I want to thank my producer Yo for doing so much to prepare for the show today, and I want to thank God Almighty for giving me a chance to talk with you and to spread the light of Israel out. Baruch Hashem. What an opportunity it is. Thank you, Tucker. Thank you for getting our juices going. Thank you for turning us on. Thank you for helping us, realize the darkness that's out there and what light we have inside of us. Israel is a light. Jerusalem is a light. And I assure you, my dear friends, to face Yerushalayim when you pray, to ask for the light of Israel, to come into your house and from your house out to your neighbors and to your land and to your family and to be blessed. Scott says Tucker has lost a lot of followers since he started all this narrative. It appears that since he interviewed Putin, he's been deceived. I don't think he's deceived. I think he's on the evil side, and I don't know if he's lost followers. Usually when you become anti-Semitic, you gain followers. But here, you're not going to get anti-Semitism on the Yishai Fleischer TV. You're going to get pro-Semitism. You're going to get Zionism. Say it, I'm a Zionist. I'm a Zionist. I'm a proud Zionist. That's right. I'm proud to love Zion, to love Jerusalem, to face Jerusalem, to ask for the light of Jerusalem, to ask for the light of God. God bless you, folks, wherever you are. More great stuff on this channel. We're doing a lot of work to connect you to the story. So please check out our assets that make us strong together. They include things like Yishai Fleischer TV, where we have a great YouTube channel, where we have a great store where you could like, comment, subscribe, send super chats, be part of it. Please. It helps us a lot. Do it right now. It helps the algorithm. Okay. We got to woo that algorithm. Got to woo the algorithm. Bezrat Hashem. And if you want to support us financially, it makes a great difference. Please subscribe and click the bell to be notified. Please go to buymeacoffee.com/Yishai. Easy way to. A great way for you to support the show. Buymeacoffee.com/Yishai. And if you buy me a coffee, I will probably take a deep breath because I'm going the way of Ben Shapiro and Shabbos Kestenbaum, talking way too fast. I need a cup of coffee to chill. Okay, so definitely go to buymeacoffee.com/Yishai. Also, you can support our projects, and we have a new website coming out soon. Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome, but you can go right now to fightforisrael.org. See the little ball? Fightforisrael.org to support our beautification of the land of Israel, our support of nascent farmers in the land of Israel who are holding on to the land, pushing back on Palestine-ism, and liberating this land. We are the Liberation Nation. And if you love also, I'm a Christian Zionist, says Dana. God bless Israel. Thank you very much. And don't forget to also go to HebronFund.org to support the Jewish community of Hebron and the tomb of the mamas and papas. Come on tour, and you and I together will make God great again. Make God great again. God bless you, folks, wherever you are. Lots of love, lots of blessings from the land of blessings, from the heartland of the Holy Land, and shalom.